Lansing's only sports station. The Game, 7:30.
Let's play.
Good evening and welcome to week 2 of the high school football season. I'm Brock Palmbos, and we got a big one coming up at the top of the next hour. It's the Panthers of DeWitt at the Bulldogs of Mason. Kickoff coming up at the top of the next hour. That's when Erik Doc Love will join yours truly from Mason High School for the big ball game tonight. But coming up in this hour, interviews first with DeWitt head coach Rob Zimmerman, and then my interview with Gary Houghton, the veteran head coach at Mason High School, and then my two-part interview with Brian Calloway, the prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. But before we get to all of that, another edition of This Week in High School Sports with John Ross.
The celebration of school sports continues, and the football playoffs hit the golden anniversary. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Last week, we let you know that this is the MHSAA's 100th year, and how you can follow along as we celebrate school sports. One of those ways is social media posts highlighting MHSAA records, such as on September 2nd, 2010, Luke Wilcox of Portland St. Patrick returned an interception against Bath 100 yards for a touchdown. That's tied for the longest in MHSAA history. But this is also the 50th anniversary of the MHSAA football playoffs. The very first MHSAA football champions were crowned in 1975. It was Livonia Franklin in Class A, Dearborn Divine Child in Class B, Ishpeming in Class C, and Crystal Falls Forest Park in Class D. The Class A and D finals were played at Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, with Class B and C finals at Perry Short Stadium in Mount Pleasant. And only 4 teams in each class qualified for that postseason. In 1976, the finals moved to the Pontiac Silverdome, and they were played there until 2004. In 1977, the number of qualifiers doubled to 8, and then grew to 16 for each class in 1985. In 1990, the number of classes doubled from 4 to 8. And the final expansion for 11-player football came in 1999, when the number of qualifiers per class grew to 32. We'll have more on the 50th anniversary of the football playoffs later in the show. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. Utica Eisenhower senior Bryce Hurley, he scored 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown, and returned a kickoff for a touchdown in a 33-16 win over Oxford. Woodhaven's Preston Scheffler, the freshman making his first start at quarterback, tossed 3 touchdown passes and a 20-0 win over Wyandotte Roosevelt. And Rockford's Cade Friesen and Logan Haglund, they each returned an interception for a score in a 30-23 win over Cass Tech.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the court. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
In soccer, a kicked ball that inadvertently touches a player's arm is not a handball. If a ball is kicked at someone's face and they instinctively put their hand in front of their face to block the ball, that is also not a handball. There was no intent. Handball or handling is called when the touch with a hand or arm is deliberate. However, if a ball glances off an offensive player's arm and goes into the goal is not allowed. Even if the touching was accidental or inadvertent, it's no goal. If the touching leads to an immediate goal-scoring opportunity, then it's also whistled for handling. As long as the inadvertent touching doesn't lead directly to a goal, it's play on.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. Back with more on the 50th anniversary of the MHSAA football playoffs. 8-player football was added in 2011 and split into 2 divisions in 2017. Farmington Hills Harrison has played in the most title games, 18, and they are tied with Jackson Lumen Christi for the most championships won, 13. Beale City and Crystal Falls Forest Park have each qualified for the postseason more than any other school, with 38 appearances each. Rockford has played in 28 straight playoffs, a record they are looking to extend to 29 this season. And the finals, as they have been since 2005, are at Ford Field in Detroit. Southfield A&T, Muskegon, Forest Hill Central, Harper Woods, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, Kingsley, Jackson, Lumen Christi, and Ubley are your reigning 11-player football state champions. Martin and Adrian Lenawee Christian are the returning champs in 8-player. The 50th MHSAA football postseason kicks off with district play on Friday, November 1st. Check out MHSAA.com for complete coverage all year long. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross. We'll be back next week.
Right. The Game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN.
Joining us on Doubting Industries' presentation of high school football, once again, the 26th-year head coach for the Panthers of DeWitt High School, 1-0 on the season. He's Coach Rob Zimmerman. Coach Zim, thanks so much for coming on once again.
You're very welcome, Brock.
Coach, man, what can you say? Scoring 69 points, scoring 10 touchdowns, huge win over arch rival Hazlitt, 69-42. Have you ever been a part of a game of something like that? And that's saying something because you've been a part of some high-scoring games in the past.
We've had a couple of shootouts with Grand Ledge, but not like that with that many points being scored and that many yards, no.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look at the stats that your outstanding stat crew sent us, you did get 25 first downs. Like I said, you scored 10 touchdowns. Obviously missed one extra point, but that's going to happen sometimes. And you scored 69 points on 17 minutes and 49 seconds of possession. Is that right? That's unreal.
Yeah, we played very, very well offensively, no question. I think we averaged 14.5 yards per play in the game. So we executed on all cylinders, that's for sure. 420
yards in total offense. Wow. I mean, that's hard to see in a 60-minute game, let alone a 48-minute game. And we're waiting, before 10 o'clock last Friday, the Mason Holt game's over with, and we see your game still in the third quarter. You don't see too many 3-hour-plus games in the high school ranks.
No, you definitely don't. It was hot, so it took its toll on both teams, certainly from a heat standpoint, but definitely was a fun game.
All right, well, let's get to the good stuff first. Elliot Larner, he's, what can you say? He's our student athlete of the week, by the way. Over 500 yards total offense for the game. 4 touchdowns in the air, 4 touchdowns on the ground. I think it's safe to say you found your quarterback for this season. I know he's played a bit in the last couple of years, but, man, that performance shows that, hey, I'm the starting quarterback. This is my team.
Yeah, we're not surprised, though. He had just a tremendous summer, and that's why he got multiple scholarship offers this summer and why he's already committed to Michigan Tech. And so, certainly was a great game, but he played up to his capabilities and the same kind of stuff that we saw this summer with 7-on-7 and when we did our team camps, etc.
Well, his twin brother, Abram Larner, was just about as good. He accounted for 4 touchdowns, 4 catches, 138 yards, 3 of those for touchdowns, and 72 yards rushing and another touchdown. Talk about his performance.
Those two have been just unbelievable throughout this summer, and we expect huge things out of Abram as well. And that's why he's committed also, because he had such a good summer. And, they both have continued to improve, and they're obviously seniors now and played a lot of varsity football. But they're great competitors, and they also possess tremendous speed and strength, and that was very evident in the game. They can really run.
Speaking with Coach Rob Zimmerman of DeWitt in his 26th season, Coach, we talked about the Larner twins. Talk about who else you thought played well for your team that was under the radar.
Well, Trav Moore is on the same level with those guys, and we just didn't give him as many touches. He had 2 touchdowns, but he only had 7 touches in the game. But he's got 2 Division I offers going into his junior year, and he's going to have a huge season for us. And I don't think we even threw to Jaden Benner, who's already committed to Central, or to Jacob Scorfar, who's on his 3rd year as a varsity player as a junior as a tight end. So we have a lot of weapons, and we didn't really use several of them. So, hopefully this week we can get all those guys going and can contribute to our offensive game plan.
On the negative side, we won't talk about that much, but we must mention it. You did give up 42 points on defense. I know Hazlitt's got an outstanding offense, and you also had 12 penalties. That's a lot even for the first game. You had a couple of turnovers. What have you done this week to try to clean all that stuff up?
The turnovers I'm not worried about. And we had one was Hazlitt made a nice play on a mesh on an option play, and so that was not a big deal. And then Elliott made one poor decision in the game, and that was the interception. So turnovers we're not concerned about. Certainly had some penalties, a lot of kind of procedure things that are typical of the first game. So we're honestly not too terribly concerned about that. Biggest thing is we had some blown assignments on defense, more so than anything, just let a couple of receivers go and didn't do what we were supposed to do. So we've just put an emphasis on making sure everybody does their job. And, and Amakri's a heck of a running back too. He busts a lot of tackles and, he's an outstanding player. But we've had a much, much better week of practice. I don't want to say much better week, but we feel a lot better about where we're at defensively with kind of some things that we tweaked this week. And I think you'll see a much better defensive performance out of us against Mason.
Well, let's talk about Mason. They're the defending runners-up in Division III. You played them twice last year, once in the regular season at home. You lost to them there. You got them in the playoffs again. This was in the district finals, and they beat you again. You got off to a good start in that game, and then Mason, with all their talent, just rolled over you. You know about this team. They got a lot of new guys, but they still got a real good pitcher in Kason Carswell. 3 touchdowns last week. Not a lot of yards passing, only 121 yards passing, but he's, you know how good he is, and they've still got, even though they're, young in spots, they got a lot of guys that can hurt you.
Yeah, they've got a lot of guys they got to replace. You can't. That receiving core that he had in the running back was unbelievable. So they got a lot of kids that got to step up to try to be on that level of what they had last year. And our kids are just really excited to play them. They got us twice last year, but we've had over the years we've been extremely successful against Mason, and our guys are looking forward to getting back to that. With them losing that senior class that was so good. Our kids know that Mason's got to continue to work to try to get back to that level. No question, Kason's a heck of a quarterback, but he doesn't have the same weapons to throw to. So we'll see, with what we can do on defense. And they're a different team than they were last year. But they're well coached, and they'll play super hard and be physical, so we'll have to match that.
And it'll be a capacity crowd. We know Mason's going to have a whole ton of people there, and we know DeWitt travels well no matter where they go. One of those great high school atmospheres, once again, at one of the best grass fields in the mid-Michigan area at Mason High School. The games like this, games against Hazlitt, games against East Lansing, this is why you coach high school football, don't you?
Yeah, and I think the biggest game that we're going to play in is actually going to be in Week 4 because the team from West Virginia they have 11 Division I players, and they're just phenomenal, and it's our first home game. So, obviously great atmosphere last week. It will be against Mason as well, and certainly East Lansing will be a super tough game for us, but that West Virginia game will probably be the best environment that we have of all of them. So our kids are pretty fortunate to be able to play in all these kind of games because not a lot of schools get to have that type of atmosphere that many times.
And as far as this game against Mason, other than what you've already told me, what are 1 or 2 keys for a big road win for the Panthers?
I think it's more on us, to be honest, in this game. Can't turn the ball over, can't have the penalties. And, we have to do our jobs. If we do our jobs, we feel great about our opportunity to win the game. I think we have tremendous athletes that are very explosive, and we play to our capabilities. We have a great opportunity. If we don't, if we make mistakes, then obviously they have a great opportunity to beat us.
He's the 26th-year head coach for the Panthers of DeWitt High School, Coach Rob Zimmerman. Is that Rob Zimmerman? Coach, thanks so much for coming on once again. Best of luck.
All right, thanks, Brock. Appreciate it.
And you're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage. The Game, 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network, brought to you by Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission.
WVFN.
Dowding Industries' presentation of high school football continues with the 8th-year head coach for the Bulldogs of Mason, 1-0 on the season. He is Coach Gary Houghton. Coach, thanks so much for coming on once again.
Thanks for having me on, Brock.
Well, you retain the Cedar Street Trophy with a big 26-7 win over Holt last Thursday night on the road. Did lots of good things, a few not so good things. We'll get to all of that. But I wanted to start with your defense. Very impressed with them. They forced 3 turnovers, got a couple of key stops. And we were talking before we went on the air. You thought field position was big, and I said the same thing during the broadcast. That absolutely was key, and it was definitely in your favor for most of the game.
Yeah, I would say we definitely had the advantage the whole night. Beginning on special teams, we end up. I think we started somewhere around the 45, our own 45-yard line to start the game, and from there it was. When we did turn it over or we had to punt or whatever it was, we ended up getting the ball back in midfield every time. So we had great field position all night, and that's what kept our passing numbers and rushing numbers down was we got great field position because of our defense and our special teams. So when you look at the stats, there's nothing spectacular. But when you look at how the game played out, we were in a great position all night long.
Yeah, you look at your senior quarterback, Kason Carswell, just 121 yards passing, not a whole heck of a lot, but 3 touchdowns, and he did throw an interception, which set up Holt's longest drive of the game, which was their touchdown. I said on the air, I thought Carswell was not perfect, but pretty good. Assess his performance in week 1.
Yeah, I thought he did some really good things. He made some plays with his feet when kids weren't open or when they got someone through on a rush, on a blitz. He was able to make some plays with his feet and either take off running or hit somebody that's open. So, he's got another layer to his game that I think everybody saw with his ability to make plays by scrambling.
Yeah, he certainly did because he did get rushed quite a bit. Holt was able to get some pressure on him, and he was able to make some plays. Made some nice throws, and for the most part, some good decisions. The one interception wasn't a great decision, but that happens sometimes. Now your defense forced 3 turnovers. I thought they were excellent for most of the night. And a key stretch in this game was right before halftime and right after halftime. You scored late in the first half with about a minute and a half, less than 2 minutes to go. Then you were able to get a quick 3 and out, used a couple of timeouts to save time, and then you were able to get down close enough to get a field goal. It was a 28-yard field goal that was good, but had to be called back because of a penalty. And then Winter, no matter for Colin Winters, your kicker, you hit 5 yards back, hit a 33-yarder, no problem. Man, what a great weapon to have. Colin Winters, 2 for 2 on field goals.
Yeah, Colin is extremely accurate. He has a great leg. I was very proud of him for being able to step right back in and kick the same kick again with the 5-yard penalty. But that was 1 second to go in the half.
Right.
They were getting the ball to start the second half, so it gave us a great opportunity to kind of steal 3 points. And then we made a stop, start the third quarter, and they went for it on 4th down. We made a stop, gave ourselves another short field, scored again, and that really put us in the driver's seat for the night.
It really did. That was a huge stretch. That field goal made it 17-7. You had just scored to go up 14-7, get the ball back, and then you score literally on the last play of the half. And then, like you said, stopped Holt right around midfield on a 4th and about a yard and a half, and boom, punched it in right after that. You're up 23-7, and he pretty much had control on that one. Some negatives. You had 8 penalties on the night. A couple really weren't very good penalties, and Carswell did throw an interception. What have you done in practice to try to clean those things up?
Well, it was basically for Kason, it was a misread on coverage on the 1 interception. So we've got that fixed pretty easily. And the other penalties were just mental mistakes that I think we've got that all cleaned up. We ended up with 41 yards in penalties, which is too much. I don't like any penalties, but if we can keep it under 25, I'm usually pretty happy. We usually win if we have less than 25 yards in penalties. So we'll get that cleaned up this week, and I think we'll be ready to go.
Well, Coach, you're going to need to clean up the mistakes because you're going to be playing a potent offense here tonight. Panthers of DeWitt, you know about them. You beat them twice last year. You beat them on the road last season, early on in week 2, and then beat them again in the playoffs in the Division III district finals. You know all about them. They got a tremendous offense. Historically, they only put up 69 points against a pretty good Hazlitt team. 69-42 win, and the Larner twins, outstanding. Elliot Larner, the quarterback, over 500 yards total offense. He accounted for 8 touchdowns, and his twin brother Abram, 4 touchdowns total for him, 3 touchdowns through the air, 1 rushing. What are you going to try to do to contain those 2 guys, let alone the rest of their offense?
I think the key is to focus on the run, is to slow the running game down. Don't let them get big gains on first down. Kind of get them off schedule to where they're trying to do things they don't want to do. I think that's the key to beating them is, you got to play with their tempo when they're on offense, because they're coming out pretty fast and they run play after play after play. And they're looking to catch you misaligned or not focused on what's in front of you. And, I think that's the key to the whole game for us is not giving up the big plays, not allowing big plays on first down that put them in a, second and short situation where they can take a shot. They got to put them in situations where they're a little lost.
Gary Houghton joining us here on the pregame show. This is your first home game of the season. Played on the road last week. Your first home game since you got to the state title game. Going to be a great atmosphere. It always is at Mason. What do you expect? You got to be expecting something extra tonight, won't you?
Oh, I think so. I think there's going to be a big crowd. There's going to be a lot of energy. Our kids are going to be excited to play this game. I know their kids will be excited to play it. After last season, I know they're definitely gunning for us. So we're going to be ready to play.
Coach Gary Houghton joining us here on the pregame show. Last question. Other than what you told me about limiting the big plays for DeWitt, what are 1 or 2 keys for a big home win and to get to 2-0 on the season?
I think it is limiting turnovers on our offense and creating some turnovers on their offense. I think that's going to be a big part of this game.
Well, we're going to find out because the game is coming up here on the game, 7:30 a.m. The 8th-year head coach for the Bulldogs of Mason, Coach Gary Houghton. Coach, thanks so much for coming on. Best of luck.
Yep, thank you for having me on.
And you're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage, the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network. Brought to you by the Lansing Sports Commission and by Dowding Industries.
Lansing Sports Leader, the game, 7:30 a.m.
Joining us once again on Dowding Industries' presentation of high school football, the prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. He's Brian Calloway. Brian, some interesting games from last week, and let's start with the city schools. Statement win for Everett, I think, shutting out Sexton at Archie Ross Stadium 28-0. Najai Davidson, 3 touchdowns accounted for in the first half, and they did it without their coach, Jaleel Canny, who was suspended for the game because of his ejection that occurred last year in round 1 of the playoffs against East Lansing. He was ejected in the second half of that game and couldn't coach this game. No matter, they go and shut out their crosstown rival Sexton 28-0. I was impressed by that. What'd you think?
Yeah, that is an impressive start for Everett to do that and start out the season the way that they did, especially after kind of building off the momentum that they established last year by getting to the playoffs for the first time in nearly a decade there. So definitely a good start to them for a team that does have some experience back on offense. And on the other side, Sexton, they were breaking in a new quarterback, and, they thought their defense would be the strong point, and, the offense may be a little iffy, or a thing that they were trying to kind of figure out in the early stages of the season. So it will be interesting to see kind of what happens for them going forward on that end.
Something we'll definitely watch the rest of the season. Big win for Lansing Catholic. Close game against Williamston. Close all night long. But Catholic and Coach Jim Baker, they get it done. Alex Fernandez, over 200 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. That's a huge win over Williamston. That sets Catholic up pretty well, I think. What do you think?
No, I think it does as well, too. I mean, they've had some early season losses in recent years that, have hurt them. I think a loss to Waverly a couple of years ago, and then last year a loss to Sexton in a back-and-forth game as well, too. So a game like this could set them up well going forward, and it gives them momentum going into their league opener against Sexton this week.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in just a little bit, but another team with a great win, comeback win, Grand Ledge. Down by 3 touchdowns early in the fourth quarter. They come back and hit a field goal on the last play of the game, and they beat Holland West Ottawa at home 36-33. I think that's a huge win for Grand Ledge.
No, it is a big win to get started for them, just to kind of fight back the way that they did against Holland West Ottawa. And obviously, it's a big start to the season for them as well, too, to get off on the right foot like that as well. Anthony
Baker, over 200 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. We saw him last year. He's really good. Another team that's good every single year is Pewamo Westphalia. They get revenge to a certain degree on North Muskegon, winning at home 8-7. Brayton Thalen, touchdown, and then the 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter. They didn't play for the tie. They played for the win, and PW gets a big win. I think mentally, that's very important for them. What do you think?
That is a nice start to the season for them, considering North Muskegon knocked them off twice last year in a couple of tight ball games. So for them to kind of get over that hump against a team that made a deep run like they did last year sets Pewamo Westphalia up well as they open up conference play this week.
Leslie, a very good win. I didn't know this. Leslie and Stockbridge is, if not the oldest, amongst one of the oldest rivalries in the state of Michigan. Leslie with a huge win, 41-7. Joel Cranmore, almost 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing as well. Big win for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, that's a nice start for them to win a rivalry game like that, to start the season before they get off into Cascades play. And obviously an impressive performance by Joel Cranmore to help them get off on the right foot.
Another team that has had rough times in the recent years, Lansing Eastern. They get a big home win over a Wayne Memorial, 26-20. Haven't won in nearly 3 years since closing the 2021 season with a 26-20 win over Kalamazoo Norks. Big win for Coach Jordan Morgan and the Eastern Quakers. It's just been a struggle for them.
No, it has been a struggle for them, and they've showed some progress in recent years, and then I think it was like the COVID year or something that definitely hurt a lot of those city programs, right, because they obviously didn't play. So that was something that, hurt the momentum that some of them may have had. And obviously, like you said, the last couple of years have been rough for them. But to be able to end an 18-game losing streak and get a win to open the season up, it sets them up nicely and is a confidence boost for that team.
Another team that was impressive, Portland. Detroit Country Day. Everybody, when you say Detroit Country Day, you think, oh my goodness, they're going to be big and powerful. Well, we know Portland's big and powerful in this area. They got to the semifinals last year. Massive win for them confidence-wise to beat Detroit Country Day 39-25.
That's a nice road win for Portland to get the season started, to go on the road and knock off a program like Detroit Country Day, which is a typically strong program year in and year out. I mean, that's a nice start to the season for them. And, this is a team that is annually good around here and usually makes plenty of noise in the playoffs as well, too. So something that sets them up nicely, and you think that they'll be bound to have another strong season, for sure.
Another team expected to have a strong season. By the way, we're talking with Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. East Lansing. Most everybody thinks they're the best team coming into the season. They were impressive against Portage Central at home, 31-7. Nobody with any great stats, but a lot of guys touched the ball and a lot of guys contributed. And we figured it was going to be this way with quarterback Ben Fletcher, running backs Jace Clarizio and Duarte Sams, and other guys as well, Owen Fortman, even more than that. Good win for East Lansing. They're off to a good start, too, as expected.
Yeah, this is a team that has high expectations after making it to the Division II state semifinals last year and having big pieces back, like the names that you said, a guy like Daryl Jeter III as well, too. I mean, there's a number of big names on that team and a number of guys that can get it done. And obviously we saw that in week 1 for them being able to pick up a win over Portage Central like they did.
And also Fowler defeating Hudson at home 20-6. Hudson historically has been a great program. We know Fowler has been as well. Very good win for them. Jacob Halfman, Asher Kenishnek, big time for them.
Yeah, the Fowler, like you said, they are a team that's had a lot of success under Coach Spicer over there in recent years, and and made a lot of noise in the area as well, too. And Hudson is always pretty good as well, too. I know that from my time of covering high school sports down in Lenawee County for a few years. So it's always nice when you pick up a win over a quality program like that to start the season.
The game you heard last week here on the game, 7:30 a.m. Mason defeated Holt 26-7. Good defensive performance. Kason Carswell, very solid. Yeah, I said on the air he was pretty good. He wasn't perfect. He did throw an interception, couple of misreads, but and not very many yards, 121 yards, but 3 touchdowns. And they had some other guys step up. Sam Corey had a big game. Hayden Hendrickson, big game defensively as well as Joey Schild. Talk about Mason's big win.
Yeah, a big factor for them this year is going to be if they can get guys to step up around Kason Carswell, because obviously we've seen what he could do on a big stage over the last several years, and he's been a big part of helping Mason do what it's done and make it to the state semifinals the 2 years in a row before breaking through last year and getting to the state championship game. So we saw people step up last week, and they did enough to pick up a win over Holt. And obviously the road gets tougher for them this week with the test that they have at home against DeWitt.
Yeah, let's talk about DeWitt. Blew out Hazlitt 69-42. They scored 10 touchdowns, and Elliott Larner was awesome. 8 total touchdowns, 4 passing, 4 rushing, and twin brother Abram just about as good. 4 touchdowns himself, 3 through the air on 4 catches and a rushing TD. That is just off the charts, even by DeWitt standards, which are known for great offenses.
Oh, yeah, and Abram also had an interception as well, too.
Yeah.
So he got it done on defense as well, too. But, no, that was the game that I was at, and it was impressive to see DeWitt, do what it was able to do offensively. I mean, they've got speed all over the place. They can get things done. I mean, Rob Zimmerman has been talking about this team in the preseason and saying it's a team that kind of resembled some of those championship teams that he had a few years back. And, boy, did they look impressive offensively. They know that defensively they're going to have to be better than giving up 42 points. And, that was kind of the lone disappointment to take away from that game. But, what they did offensively was very, very special and very impressive to set school records for points in a game and yardage in the game.
He's Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. We've reviewed week 1. We'll preview week 2 coming up in the second segment with Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. You're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage. The game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network, brought to you by Dowding Industries and the Lansing Sports Commission.
Lansing's only sports station. The game, 7:30 a.m.
Let's play.
Back for another segment with Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. All right, week number 2 games. Some interesting tilts here as well. We'll get to DeWitt at Mason. That's our game, which you'll hear here in just a bit. One of the more interesting games is Okemos hosting Clio. We all know about Okemos. They've lost 41 in a row. They scored 21 points in a 48-21 loss to St. John's last week. Is this the week that Okemos breaks the longest losing streak in the state of Michigan? Because it's the longest current streak in the state of Michigan by far.
Yeah, this is an interesting game, like you said. I'm very intrigued by it as well, too. I mean, as you look at the losing streak for Okemos, all the games they played, the closest that they came to a victory was when they played Clio in week 2 last year. They lost that game 28-20 on the road. But other than that, all the games that they played have been decided by more than 10 points. So, I'm going with Okemos in this one. They're at home, and, I think that they have some confidence. And after playing Clio last year and thinking that this could be the time that they can break through and end that 41-game losing streak. So I'm going with Okemos to win at home.
So am I. That's what I'm picking as well. Also, Lansing Catholic is at Sexton. They play at the Majeski Stadium. Catholic trying to get to 2-0 on the season. Sexton, a team trying to get to 1-1 on the season after getting shut out by Everett last week. How do you see that?
I want to go with Lansing Catholic in this game. Just with what they showed offensively and being able to knock off a team like Williamston last week, I think that they will get it done and go on the road and knock off Sexton.
All right, moving on. There's some games in the CAAC White. Also Catholic Sexton, the CAAC white opponents. Olivet is at Portland. Olivet, traditionally really, really good. So is Portland, and it's Portland's home opener. I love Portland in this one. I think Portland has a chance to go really far this year, barring injuries. How do you see it?
Yeah, I like Portland in this one. You know, they started the season with the impressive win over Detroit Country Day, so I like them to build on the momentum off of that.
Also, Lakewood at Charlotte. Charlotte's been good in recent years. How do you see this one?
Yeah, Charlotte has been good in recent years and been one of the top contenders in the CAAC White. Obviously, they dropped their opener last week, but I think they bounced back and get a win over Lakewood. And Lakewood, you know, had a tough season last year, but got a win to start the season off under new coach Tim Swore. So I think this game could be interesting, but I'm going to go with Charlotte in this game.
Also, the CMAC is opening conference play this week. Bath at Pewamo, Westphalia. Pewamo, Westphalia's got to be sky high after beating North Muskegon last week. PW at home against Bath. Bath was good last year, made the playoffs last year. I'm still picking PW. Pick against PW at home at your own risk.
Yeah, you know, Bath has done some good things in recent years and made the playoffs on back-to-back seasons for the first time in school history. But, you know, Pewamo, Westphalia starting the season with a nice win over North Muskegon like they did. I think that they get it done and win. And, you know, they're the CMAC favorite for a reason, so I'm going with the Pirates in this one.
Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal, joining us here on the pregame show. Another team we didn't talk about in the last segment, Vermontville Maple Valley. They were a team that had played 8-man football, was very good the last couple of years, but because there's too much enrollment, they could not qualify for the 8-player playoffs. So they decided to go back to playing 11-player football and got a big win over Potterville last week, 9-8. They're 1-0 on the season, and they host Springport. Got a late field goal, by the way, to win that one. They host Springport this week. Does Maple Valley get to 2-0?
You know, Maple Valley is, you know, a good story with what they did and, you know, obviously picking up the win that they did over Powderville in a tight game. But I'm going to go with Springport in this one. Springport opened their season last week by knocking off Dansville on the road. So I think Springport picks up the win here.
Some other games to look at non-conference-wise. Grand Ledge coming off the great comeback. They're at another really good program, Battle Creek Lakeview. Got to travel down to the Cereal City. Does Grand Ledge get to 2-0?
I do think Grand Ledge gets to 2-0. I mean, it's a pretty thrilling way to start the season like they did with the momentum that they built by rallying from 20 points down. I think they build on that and go to Battle Creek and get a win.
East Lansing goes to Hudsonville. Hudsonville, one of the West Michigan powers. There are many powers in West Michigan, as you know. East Lansing going on the road. Does East Lansing get to 2-0?
Yeah, I'm going to go with East Lansing. I mean, this is a team, like we talked about in the last segment, are loaded with talent. I mean, they're viewed as one of the state's top teams, and I like them to pick up a win over Hudsonville. Williamston
hosts Hastings in the home opener at Larkin Nortman Memorial Field. Does Williamston rebound and beat the Saxons of Hastings?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go with Williamston to bounce back after falling short in a tight contest. I mean, they got Caleb Nielsen, their quarterback, put up some big numbers against Lansing Catholic in that game, and I think that he could help Williamston pick up their first win.
Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. In a game that's being played on Saturday, Eastern trying to get to 2-0 on the season. They're heading up north to Benzonia, Benz East Central. This is a Saturday game. Does Eastern get to 2-0? If they do, that would be one of the great early stories.
It would definitely be a great early story if Eastern is able to pick up the win. I'm going to go with Benz East Central in this one, but it would be impressive if Eastern does pick up the win here.
In 8-player football, Portland St. Pat's hosts Weberville. St. Pat's, one of the great programs in 8-player football ever since its inception more than a decade ago. Weberville off to a good start as well at 1-0. I got St. Pat's in this one, but this could be close.
Yeah, Weberville won big over Ashley to start the season last week, but I'm going to go with Portland St. Patrick to pick up the win in this one.
And let's see here. Ovid Elsie taking on Mount Morris. Fowler is at Saranac. Dansville at Potterville. Dansville-Potterville, two teams that have been struggling. Dansville's on a losing streak. They were 0-9 last year. How do you see that one, Dansville at Potterville?
Yeah, I think that's the most interesting game of the bunch that you just said. Obviously, Potterville playing a full varsity schedule for the first time in a couple of years after just playing a limited schedule last year and not being a part of the CMAC. So I'm most intrigued by that game. I'm going to go with Dansville in that game, but I think that could be an interesting game between both of those teams.
Yeah, looking for wins after losses last week. And finally, the game you're going to hear in just a few minutes here, DeWitt at Mason. DeWitt scored 69 points. They scored 10 touchdowns against the Hazlitt Vikings last week, and Mason defeated Holt 26-7 on the road. Can Mason's defense contain DeWitt's offense, and can DeWitt's defense stop Mason's offense led by Case and Carswell? It's an interesting contrast here on both sides of the ball.
No, it is an interesting contrast, and then you also factor in what happened last year when these two teams met.
Right.
Then when you kind of think about DeWitt football in this area, I mean, there's not many. This program has had a lot of good nights, and they typically don't get blown out by anybody in the area, but that's what happened last year when they played Mason, and the two of their three losses last year were to Mason, including a 35-point loss in the playoffs. So you got to know that DeWitt is going to be ready and hungry for a little bit of revenge after what happened last year when those two teams met. And you also got to factor in, too, that, Mason, lost a lot of those experienced players that played a part in those wins last year. And DeWitt, I mean, they were younger last year and had guys that were on varsity, and now all those guys are a year older and better and experienced now as well, too. So a lot of those guys were around for those losses last year, and obviously those things don't sit well for them. So I'm going with DeWitt in this matchup just based on some of the revenge factors, and then what we saw last week out of this team. I mean, they look like a team that's on a mission and is hungry to have a lot of success. So I've got DeWitt.
Brian Calloway, Prep Sports Editor of the Lansing State Journal. Brian, thanks so much. When we talk next week, we'll review Week 2 and preview Week 3. Thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem, Brock. Thanks for having me.
And you're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage, the game 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network, brought to you by Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission.
Lansing Sports Station, the game 7:30 a.m.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of High School Football here on the game 7:30 a.m. WVFN, brought to you by Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission. I'm Brock Palmbush. Alongside me is Erik Doc Love. Erik, we've been waiting for this one. DeWitt at Mason. Mason beat DeWitt twice last year, once in the regular season and then once in the playoffs. DeWitt looking for some revenge, and they got a potent offense led by a terrific quarterback, our actual student athlete of the week, senior Elliot Larner.
Well, school record 69 points last week, which has been touched on many times, obviously, after that ball game, beating Hazlitt 69-42. Larner in that one, Elliot, that is, he had, 8 touchdowns? Combined for 8 touchdowns in that ball game. Over 500 total yards for him. His twin brother, well, he had 4 touchdowns himself.
That's Abram Larner.
Yes. So 68 points had been the record. 1992 versus Jackson County Western, which is a school I believe it doesn't exist anymore, by the way.
Parma Western.
Parma Western. They've changed their name since then.
It does exist. Yeah.
Nevertheless, DeWitt, yes, very high-powered offense. Guys that were younger last year are now juniors and seniors. A lot of young players for Rob Zimmerman's squad that went last year 7-3. And they only played 8 regular season contests, by the way, in that one. So, but DeWitt, after getting beaten twice in the playoff, twice 42-23, and then again in the playoffs they lost 42-7 to this Mason squad. So looking for a little revenge tonight.
As for Mason, they're 1-0, just like DeWitt. They beat Holt last week. You heard it here on the game 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network. Case and Carswell, their senior quarterback, 3 touchdowns, only 121 yards passing, but as you heard in the pregame show, a lot of short field, so that affected his yardage because, well, Mason had the better of the field position.
They did. Short yards, it seemed most of the time, every time they had the ball. So, yeah. So
WVFN East Lansing, a town square media station. We're the station you've turned to for sports for over 30 years. The game, 7:30 a.m.
this here tonight, and production was all in Putting Industries. Jeff and Chris Mason. The Lansing Sports Commission. Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Some greater details at lansingsport.org.
It could be possibly. This is kind of like, I don't want to see contrasting. Obviously, before 69 points in ball game, it's going to be pretty good. So it really comes down to that. Mason, their offense was solid last week against bit more than they have been lately. So, 42 ahead wasn't ideal, but
because we'll get the ball card this game here. I'm getting around the Michigan area tonight. Very much penalty. Hudsonville, trying to. Hazlitt is at Fenton, Fowlerville hosting Marshall, St. John's at Hamilton, Hastings is at Williamson, Lakewood at Charlotte, Ionia at Eaton Rapids, Portland hosts Olivet. Dansville at Powderville, Bath at Paloma, Westphalia. And at Archie Ross Stadium, they're doing on the season. And there's Jenkins in their quarterback, 2 more touchdown passes. He's back there, Abram, number 4. And it looks like number 2, number 4. Correct. Over 30 2 2 yards.
It's 6 yards on the ground that time.
It's going to be 3rd and short, it looks like, from the 39-yard line.
Top offensive weapons for this team are numbers 2, 3, 4 at the top of the roster. Trav Moore, Elliott Lerner, Abram Lerner.
3rd and short from the 39-yard line.
Uh-oh.
And we got
broken play.
And Lerner gets to the 41, and there's a flag on the far side of the field.
Might be a false start or illegal formation. Something happened. He was not ready for the snap, and nobody moved on the line. If this is on DeWitt, can you decline this penalty and make it 4th down, or do you take it, or do you have to take it? It's dead ball, so you have to take it. So,
and it's a 5-yard penalty. It is a legal procedure. First penalty of the game. We are scoreless, so it'll be 3rd down and long. 10:22 to go, first quarter. DeWitt Mason, we're scoreless here at Mason High School. Ball on the 34-yard line. Ball right in the middle of the field. DeWitt going from right to left. In the shotgun, Elliott Lerner dropping straight back to throw. Feeling some pressure over the middle. Caught. That's Abram Lerner over the 40, left side 45, 50 into Mason territory, and he's taken down inside the 45-yard line. They'll mark him down about the 42, 43-yard line. Nice crossing route there, Doc.
Absolutely. Get wide open from right to left. Got underneath the linebackers. Found a little bit of space. Had a nice block from his receiver out there on that left side. And moved the ball for, 23 yards roughly?
They'll take it.
Nice when you can have your twin brother out there. You think they have a connection?
Yeah. Give him 23 yards on that one. They're at the 43-yard line of Mason. Inside handoff. Abram Lerner. Nothing there. Who had 9 tackles last week against Holt. A jet sweep. Mason smelled it out, so no gain.
They, a generous half yard on that play. I thought he lost a yard at one point, but no, I guess they give him about a half a yard. I'm going to put 0 on my stat sheet, but nice job by the Mason defense on that play.
9:30 to go first quarter. First drive of the game, 2nd and 10. Elliott Lerner dropping straight back to throw. Looking, he's got a man over the middle. Abram Lerner, this is a touchdown. Just a simple deep cross. And Elliott Lerner hit his twin brother Abram for a 43-yard touchdown. It's 6-0 DeWitt.
Little post pattern. Ran down there about, 15, 20 yards. Cut across the middle. No safety deep on that play for the Bulldogs, and it's an easy, quick score for the Panthers.
Who's that out there kicking?
28.
Number 28. That's Vincent Rose, a sophomore. Here's the kick. It's up. It's good. And so, 9:20 to go in the first quarter. It's DeWitt 7. Mason nothing. We'll keep it right here.
It was the Lerner brothers. The Lerner brothers.
Yes. Steps it off.
Here's the kick. And it's in this game.
Come on, half of the field.
It won't be a factor for power for them. On the left and the left.
He had a step.
From their own 46. Carswell dropping straight back to throw. Fakes, now throws it out to the left.
Screen to Hayden Hendrickson, and DeWitt snuffed it out real quick, Brock.
So it'll now be 3rd and long.
One of those plays where the offensive line lets the defensive line come in and put the pressure on the quarterback. They want that space to be vacated for the receiver, and the DeWitt had 2 guys waiting for it. Watch your film. You'll know what happens, right?
2nd down and 10, own 46. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Carswell in the gun. Dropping to throw. Throws it out to the right. It's caught. No, dropped. Luke Gose couldn't quite bring it in. Number 8, Lucas Brandell, was on the coverage, the junior defensive back, harassing Gose, and now it's going to be fourth down, and probably going to be punt time.
Well, even if he makes the catch, he's going to be short of the yard to gain. There were 2 receivers out there where Carswell was rolling out to the right, and Gose with the Z route looking for it, got a little bit of space and had the pass, but if he'd hauled it in, it'd only been 7 or 8 yards.
Back in punt formation is Carswell.
Abram Lerner back to receive for DeWitt.
He's standing on his own 25-yard line. Here's the kick. It's away, and it's going to be out of bounds at about the, 19-yard line, just purposely kicking it away from Abram Lerner.
18. A solid punt. Keep him inside the 20 and keep it away from the punt returner.
7:31 to go, first quarter, 7-0 DeWitt.
Well, Mason got 1 first down.
Yes.
Then stalled.
We'll do our best to keep you updated on all the other action around the mid-Michigan area tonight. Via the Twitterverse, of course. Here is Elliot Larner. Fakes the pitch out. He's going to take it up the middle himself, and he's going to have a first down. Gets out to the 29-yard line. That was a fake pitch to the left, Doc, and then he just took it himself and was able to get a first down.
Number 73, Zeb James, makes the tackle, but they do move the chains, like you said.
Hurry up offense here for DeWitt. Elliott in the gun. Fakes the handoff. Now he's going to go out to the right. Now he's got another first down. And he's going to get over the 40 to the 43-yard line.
Elliott Larner again with the carry.
And he made it all the way. 30, 20. He said, touchdown. 50 yards.
Down the field, bounced off him. The next guy couldn't make the tackle, spun away from them, and then wheel to pull away.
It's from 20. That's good. It's away, and it's good. It's 14. Mason, nothing. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on the game 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network, brought to you by Topping Industries and the Lansing Sports.
WVFN.
Because the importance of this all so far.
But
Car stop. Corey, the wide receiver.
with on the floor.
Yes. Stick to 40.
About it.
Sit down. Behind ourselves.
And let's scroll down here a little bit more and see what else I can find real quick. Less than 16 Horn thing. Follow up first.
Well, in the gun, door next to him, 4 wide receivers coming in.
Trav Moore.
Making a stop for the Bulldogs. Number 44,
Logan Dorr, number 44.
No gain on the play. DeWitt football, second down, 10.
Second down and 10, 5:25, 5:24 and counting. First quarter. Now the Panther formation here. Fake handoff. Here's Elliott Larner going left side out over the 20 to the 25, gets to the 28, maybe the 29-yard line, taken down there by Sam Corey and friends. They're going to give him 9, so it'll be 3rd down and 1.
And faked the handoff up the middle, ran to the left, and then got a pancake block from one of his linemen. And that sprung him for the extra couple of yards.
4:50 to go, first quarter. Brock Palmbos, Erik Love, glad you're joining us here on the game, 7:30 a.m., WVFN. Handoff, Trav Moore. He's going to get the first down, but not much more than that. Good defense, but he only needed 1 yard, and they're going to give him 3. Stop the clock momentarily. Does get to the 32-yard line.
Sam Corey with the stop, but more chain moving.
And he gets to the 36 line. Five on that one.
Yeah, he fell forward, got another yard.
Here's a pitch out to Trav Moore, and he's got a first down. And he's going to be close to Mason territory. That was a late pitch, Doc.
Mm-hmm.
And Moore was able to take it out close to midfield. In fact, going to be into Mason territory at the Mason 48-yard line.
16 yards on that little toss, delayed toss play. They had a guard pull out there as a protectional, a personal protector, basically, for the quarterback, Elliott, and then he just waited as long as he could, and then finally tossed it out there.
Elliott Larner, fake handoff to Trav Moore. He's going to take it himself. He's going to be close to a first down, goes right up the middle, gets down to the 41-yard line. He's taken down there. Caleb Vaughn there, Logan Dorr there, but another big gain of 7.
Peters as well, kind of holding on for dear life again to that one. He's just kind of, he's not like getting the ball or taking the ball, I should say, and then just going right away. He's kind of slowly picking his way and finding this little bit of seam between defenders.
They're going to give him 8. They put the ball at the 41-yard line. Elliott Larner in the gun, 3 wide receivers, 2 left, 1 to the right. Fake handoff to Moore. He's going to take it left side. First down, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. He's going to be taken down at about the 15-yard line by Wyatt Ball. And we got a late flag.
This one might be coming back. Yep.
Holding?
Holding on DeWitt. It's a down the field a few yards, so it's not going to be.
It's not going to be a first down, I don't think.
It won't, and it's not going to be as damaging as if it were at the line of scrimmage. But it negates the first down.
And it'll be second down and about 6.
Yep. Second penalty for DeWitt.
2 penalties for 15 yards. No penalties yet for Mason. 14-7 DeWitt. 3:04 to go, first quarter.
Well, I guess 3 penalties, they kicked it out of bounds, remember?
But no yardage, really, because I don't really count that because Mason took the ball at the 35-yard line.
Correct.
Had they moved it back 5 yards, then you count that. Elliott Larner dropping to throw. Feeling the pressure, gets away from it. He's going to have a first down over to the left side, 30. And we got another late flag. He's out of bounds at the 20. Probably a sane call here, Doc.
It's going to be a hold. It's far down the field, so it's going to be a first down regardless of where it's at. Abram, his brother, is the one that's going to be called for this infraction, but it's, 20 yards downfield.
And holding is a spot foul. It didn't used to be that way.
Mm-mm. This one's at about,
so it'll move it.
The 24?
Yeah, so it'll move it back to the 34-yard line.
It's still a first down.
Well, they're going to put it back at the 35-yard line.
Okay, all right.
2:54 to go, first quarter. Now they got to get the chain gang right. Working on it now. Then once they do that, then they'll wind the clock.
Which the NFL is trying to get rid of at this.
Probably next year.
Yeah, the chain gang. I'm trying to get rid of them. Go with the digital technology.
They'll use them as backup, but
yes.
Yeah. Here we go, Panther formation. Larner, hands to A. Get away from the pile. It's going to be first and goal from the 6.
On that play.
Man. Not much there. The kick, it's up and good. 2:03 to go in the first quarter. It's DeWitt 21. Has making another 3-hour game.
Rose, 28, will be kicked off. And now is here's a kick. Yard line, taking that there.
Mason football. First.
The end of the first, Springport 7, Maple Valley 6.
Maple Valley kicked a late field goal last week
After trailing the entire game.
to beat Potterville 9-8. 1:57 to go, first quarter. 21-7 DeWitt over Mason.
Five wide.
3 to the left, 2 to the right. Case and Carswell all by himself. Throws it out to the right. Caught there, 36-37 yard line. Wyatt Ball with the catch.
Wyatt Ball. They stop for the Panthers.
Going to be a gain of about, well, they give him the 37, so give him, what, 5?
It's more like 4.
More like 4.
Game 4 on the play. Mason football second.
Minute 35 to go.
Quick little out route.
Get off, take himself. To the 40, he's close to first down.
About 45.
That's Ben Kidd. No, 0. I'm sorry. Hayden Hendrickson. And he's got a first down.
Got 15 on that end around.
Brings it out of bounds. Right on 44. Cooper Chambers.
Cooper Chambers would stop for DeWitt.
And football first down.
Under a minute to go. 35 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Got out of bounds on that play, so the clock has stopped. Back to the shotgun formation.
Carswell in the gun. Handoff, now throwing deep. There's a man out there. It's caught, and it's going to be a touchdown. Luke goes.
Nice pass by Goss, too. Or nice pass from Ball. And Goss got well behind everybody there in the secondary.
So Colin Winter's going to go kick the extra point. Colin Winters with the extra point. And it is up, and it is good. So with 28 seconds to go in the first quarter, it's Mason 21, or DeWitt 21, Mason 14.
We've got 27 points in the first.
Yes, you can. 70-64 game, Doc.
I mean, yeah, we have the potential for that. That's for sure.
It's hard to fathom.
We're already at 35 points. We haven't even played a full quarter yet. DeWitt getting the ball first is the only reason really why they have the lead right now.
And there was a flag at the end of that last touchdown, a roughing the passer call on DeWitt. 50 yards. Here from the DeWitt 45. Booted against. Here we go. The ball. Throws out to the left. It is caught. 10.
Ready. WPFN.
Brock Palmbush, Erik, Doc Love, back here at Mason High School. 21-14 DeWitt. Now shade completely engulfing the field. The lights taking effect. Here we are early in the second quarter, Doc.
And about a 20-degree difference from last week when we were broadcasting in Holt.
It was hot, man.
It was, mid-80s, and now we're at somewhere in the 60s. And that was the high today, was in the 60s.
Yeah.
This is more like football weather. I like
this. It's September.
It's nice and cool,
it's
like it should
be.
Yeah.
Yes. Going from left to right now is DeWitt. Elliott Larner in the gun. Now a reverse handoff to Abram, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Fake to Trav Moore up the middle, and then on an end around, Abram Larner, but he's tackled.
Hayden Hendrickson made a huge play. Had a one-on-one play. It's who's going to win this one.
Yep.
And Hendrickson got the better of it.
Panther formation again, third and short. Elliott Larner, and he's going to get the first down. Still going, 30, 35, 37, maybe the 38-yard line, first down. Man. Logan Dorr on the tackle. Ball at the 37, maybe the 38-yard line.
Dorr finally able to pull him down.
Officials say the 38-yard line, so 1st and 10. Elliott Larner in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers left. Power set. Dropping to throw is Elliott. Now he's going to roll out to the right. He's wide open. He's got a lot of room. He's going to have a first down, and he's taken out of bounds close to midfield by number 2, Luke Gose. He'll get a good mark up to the 49-yard line. He needed 10. Going to get 12, and it'll be 1st and 10. Give him 11 on the play.
Well, those guys running, the two guys on the left you mentioned, they ran their routes. That's where he was looking over to the left side. Nothing was there, but plenty of grass on the right.
Larner in the gun again. Dropping to throw. Throws it out to the right. It's tipped and incomplete. Was that Sam Corey?
It was. Sam Corey got up and knocked that ball down.
There we go.
First incomplete pass of the game for Elliott Larner. That'd been 3 for 3.
1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. 10:44 to go, first half. Brock Palmbush, Erik Love. Glad you're joining us here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN.
Great job by Corey, the defensive end, to get his paws up there and bat it away.
Larner in the gun, 2nd and 10. Trav Moore next to him in the gun. Dropping to throw. Reversing himself, now just standing around. He's got a ton of time. Now he's got to try to get away from the pressure, and now he throws it deep out to the left, and it's almost caught, almost intercepted.
Ooh.
And it'll be 3rd down and 10.
A lot happening on that play.
Man, he had a ton of time. Great job by the DeWitt offensive line, but the coverage was good enough that he couldn't throw it, and then finally did.
And Abram almost hauled it in.
Almost intercepted by Troy Peters, number 15, but then almost caught, like you said, by Abram Larner.
If you watched last night's opening NFL game between the Chiefs and the Ravens, that was a little Mahomes or Jackson-esque because he was dancing around in the pocket.
10:32 to go, first half. Now what do we got?
Timeout DeWitt.
Timeout DeWitt. Their second timeout, Doc. They've only got one left. We thank Dowding Industries for sponsoring us not only tonight, but all season long. And also, the Lansing Sports Commission. Megan Zemer and her great staff. No matter the sport, the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find details at lansingsports.org. Well, we know in the past that Coach Zim will use timeouts pretty liberally.
Well, he used one on defense that drive before, the 2 drives before for Mason, and Mason scored on a touchdown the very next play. This one, I don't know, just maybe they didn't have the right personnel there. On 2nd down and decided let's talk it over on 3rd. This will be Mason's first good chance defensively to make a stop.
10:32 to go, first half. 21-14 DeWitt. It's been all offense so far. Elliott Larner dropping to throw, feeling the late pressure, and it's overthrown, and we got a late flag.
Blitz came in from the linebacker spot for Mason. I wonder if it's illegal procedure or somebody lined up off sides.
There is, however, a flag on the play.
Ineligible downfield. Okay. That was one it did not say.
And if you're Mason, you decline that
Yes.
penalty and make it 4th down. They will decline it and make it 4th down.
That's the smart choice.
And may force DeWitt to punt here with 10:27 to go in the first half.
There's your stop. That's the stop you need if you're Mason.
Yes.
You wanted one stop. Right there is the best time to get it. 18 back for DeWitt to punt, and that's Brendan Mensing, backup quarterback.
He's a junior.
And number 10, Wyatt Ball.
Got a touchdown pass in this game. Here's the kick. It's away inside the 20, inside the 10, out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Wow. About as good as you can get.
44-yard punt, no return. And Mason takes over on their own 5-yard line with 10:19 to go in the first half.
If you can't get the first down or score for DeWitt, This is the next best thing. Your punter can pin him inside the 5. Didn't look so great punt to start. It didn't have a lot of hang time.
Nope.
But it must have been on purpose. He let it bounce and had a fortuitous DeWitt bounce. Ball's inside the 5. Caleb Vaughn in the backfield.
Carswell standing on his own goal line. Now he's going to roll out to the right. Now roll back to the left, feeling the pressure, and he's just going to throw it away.
It's intercepted, but it's well out of bounds.
Yeah, it was intercepted way out of bounds by Jaden Bender, number 11. But like you said, he was about 3 yards out of bounds.
At least.
The fans on the far side of the field couldn't see it.
Your viewpoint from the other side for the student section.
Right.
Not quite what it is from us over here.
But it'll be 2nd down and 10 with 10-12 to go. First half. DeWitt leading Mason 21-14.
Carswell looked right. Nobody was open. Looked left. Nobody was open and said, I got to get rid of this ball. I'm in the end zone.
Carswell in the gun. Caleb Vaughn next to him. 4 wide receivers. 2 left, 2 to the right. Now man goes in motion. Carswell going to take it himself. Out over the 5, out over the 10. And he's going to lunge, and I think he's going to get a first down.
It was all effort.
Taken down there by number 10, Jacob Scorfar. But a big first down for Mason. Needed 10, got 11. They're at their own 16-yard line.
Get out of the shadow of your own end zone and make things a little bit more breathable. And Cason Carswell, we talk about Elliott Lerner, all the running he does. Cason Carswell's mobile enough to do it himself,
yes,
too.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. 9:45 and counting. 4 wide receivers again, shotgun formation. Carswell dropping to throw. Out to the left, caught there, tackled immediately. Frankie Trigo, who had a touchdown catch last week, taken down immediately by number 24, Miller Wing.
Maybe a yard?
They'll give him 2, it looks
2?
like.
Okay, all right.
Good defense there by Wing.
That quick little out route. They're hoping that he can break that initial tackle and make some more yards out of, get some some yards after catch.
That's the design of the play, yes.
But a solid tackle by Miller Wing.
9:31 left to go in the first half. I formation behind Carswell. Carswell under center. Fake handoff, play action pass. Throwing out over the left. It's caught at the 29-yard line. That looks like it's Luke Gose. It is. Out to the 28, 29-yard line. Lucas Brandell with the stop, and it's going to be another first down for Mason. Give him 12 out to the 28.
Not quite the Z route, but something similar to it. Went inside, worked his way, made a little move, then ran out.
I formation again. Sorry, Doc.
I was going to say back to the I.
I formation behind Carswell. Maybe they found a formation that works. Handoff, Vaughn. Not much there.
Nope.
Still going, though. And you know what? He did well just to get back to the 27-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 1, maybe 2, but he did well just to get that close to the line of scrimmage.
He's going to lose 2. You're right.
It'll be 2nd and 12.
DeWitt stout up the middle on that play. Nothing happening. Logan Dorr, the fullback, he found somebody to block, but there were a bunch of other Panthers, too.
8:15 and counting.
Mason taking their time. I like this, trying to slow down and keep the ball out of the hands of the Panther offense.
I think that's a smart coaching move by Gary Houghton. Carswell in the gun. Dropping to throw. Over the middle. Caught at the 29-yard line, but not much further. Is that Trigo again?
No, 15.
No, that's 15, Troy Peters. Not much of a gain there to the 29-yard line. Do they give him the 30? Yeah, the ball's touching the 30-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd and long. Well, at the very least, if you're Mason, you have flipped the field a little bit. You're out from under your own end zone, out to the 30-yard line. This would be a big conversion here. It's 3rd and 8 from your own 30. 7:28 and counting, first half. DeWitt up 21-14. Carswell in the gun. Dropping to throw. Rolling out to the right, trying to get away from the pressure. He's going to throw it high and deep and out of bounds.
Intended for number 15, Troy Peters. But the pressure got to Casey Carswell. He had to leave the pocket very early on that play, rolling out to the right, pointed to Peters to go outright, go this way, but the pass was too high.
So it'll be 4th and 8, and this will be the second punt for Casey Carswell.
Two Panthers back on this one, Trav Moore and Abram Larner.
If I were Coach Zim, I'd have those two guys back there on punt coverage. Or punt return, not punt coverage.
Correct. They'd probably be good on punt coverage, too.
Probably. As gunners.
Yes.
Carswell takes the snap. It's not a good punt at all. And one of the assistant coaches catches it at his own 44, 43, 41-yard line. Oof. 11-yard punt. Went off the side of his foot.
It did. It was directly off the left side of his foot. And it didn't have any, it just kind of wobbled its way to the outside. And you mentioned they flipped the field a little bit. It didn't work out after the punt, man. That's not what you wanted in that situation.
As we get to the 8 o'clock hour, I want to let you know you're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage. The game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN, a Town Square media station, and also on the Lansing Sports Network. Brought to you by Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission. They'll mark it just inside the 42-yard line, really the 41. Panther formation again, which is kind of a modified single wing T, all of that stuff. Inside handoff, Abram Larner inside the 40. Gets outside the 35 to the 30. Being chased, 25, 20. Out of bounds inside the 20.
Misdirection play. They go right, he goes left. Defense starts flowing that way. It is a modified wing or single wing.
Single wing T, kind of their own variation of it. And they've used it pretty much ever since Tyler Holtz left after the 2021 season.
Yes. 34 yards on that run.
Down to the 17-yard line. Ball on the far hash mark. DeWitt going from left to right. 6:56 to go, first half.
Unconventional offense for these times.
Panther formation again.
Fake the handoff, run right.
That's Larner, it looks like, inside the 10.
Yep.
That's Elliott Larner, yes, number 3. He takes it inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. Gain of 11, another first down. Hayden Henriksen in on the tackle.
That time everybody was rolling to the left on that one. He faked the handoff, took the ball behind his back, and then ran right. And they'll look like they're going to stick with that same formation.
Seeing something they like. Larner inside. Trav Moore gets inside the 5, no further. Maybe he'll get to the 4, possibly the 3. And it'll be 2nd and goal.
I think he's down to the 4.
Just inside the 4. Well, if you're DeWitt, unless you have a major loss, 3 downs to get the score.
Yes.
That's got to be your thinking here. 6 minutes left in the first half.
Back to a more traditional shotgun.
If you can call shotgun traditional.
Well.
Fake handoff. That's Elliott Larner. Gets to the 3, gets to the 2. Pushed back at the 1. No, touchdown. Touchdown, Elliott Larner.
Third effort got him in. You don't have to worry about that extra downs, Brock.
Officially 4 yards on the touchdown. It's 27-14 DeWitt. Number 28, Vince Rose, sophomore kicker, left-foot kicker. He's hit his first 3 extra points so far. Snap good. Placement down. Kick on the way. That looks good, and it is. So, with 5:50 to go in quarter number 2, it's DeWitt 28, Mason 14. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN.
WVFN, Lansing sports leader.
Brock Palmbos, Erik Doc Love, back here at Mason High School.
Short field. Quick touchdown for the Panthers.
11-yard punt by Kason Carswell set that up. And it's 28-14 DeWitt. Elliott Larner, first rushing touchdown of the game. He's got a touchdown pass already. Rose kicking off. He's going to just bomb this into the end zone. All right, so you're Mason. You've got all 3 timeouts, 5:50 to go. You want to score,
Yep.
but you want to make sure DeWitt doesn't get the ball.
It's a tough task to handle.
Because remember, Mason won the toss and deferred, so they'll get the ball to start quarter number 3.
So you're hoping for the double dip. You're hoping to score here, not leave DeWitt any time to score, and then get it again in the third and hopefully get in the end zone again.
They have all 3 timeouts, so plenty of time here.
Yeah, 5:50 is a lot of time, especially with the clock stopping after a first down. A little miscommunication who's supposed to be out there. Sam Corey was not supposed to be out there. He had to run off the field real quick before they broke the huddle.
I formation behind Carswell. Looks like he's audibling. Under center. Handoff. 25-yard line, 28-yard line. Is that Hendrickson? Yes, it is. Hayden Hendrickson gets 8 on that first carry.
Good play call change. He saw something in the defense he did not like, changed it. I think the play was supposed to go up the middle or to the right. He made it a weak formation, run to the left. The tight end was on the right side.
5:21, 5:20. Maybe Mason's thinking the same thing. Grind this clock down, score right before the half. Well, we'll see what happens here. Carswell, handoff. Maybe a first down. Is that Hendrickson again?
A second effort might get him there. Oh, no, that was number 3, actually. That was Dom Rodriguez.
Oh, Dom Rodriguez, one of the backups. If all you need to do is get to the 30-yard line, nose of the ball at the 30, first down.
The chain gang's moving. It is a first down.
It is a first down. 4:41 to go, first half.
You just got the 2 he needed.
Yep.
Mason taking a lot extra time here.
Yes, they are.
Well, it keeps the ball away from DeWitt, obviously, and it gives your defense a little bit of a chance to recover.
4:25 to go, first half. Carswell in the gun. Now he'll take it himself. He's going to gain out to the 34-yard line. Fake the jet sweep handoff. He's going to get 4, maybe 5.
You're going to give him 5, right to the 35.
Gavin Dussault, number 7 for DeWitt on the tackle. Gain of 5. Second down and 5.
Carswell, their leader right now in this ball game.
Yep. Carswell dropping the throw, rolling out to the left, feeling the pressure. Fumble. DeWitt's got it.
Yep.
What Mason didn't need and what DeWitt
was hoping for.
You said it. 3:41 to go, first half. And now DeWitt's got the ball inside the 30-yard line.
Carswell dropped back to pass. Got a little bit of a pressure. Had to leave the pocket. Started running out to his left and forgot the ball. Didn't have it tucked away. Was kind of waiting to see if maybe I could throw the ball, and it just didn't work out for him.
After the band plays, we return to the football teams first and then the cheerleaders.
Ball at the 28-yard line of Mason. Here's DeWitt. Panther formation again. Elliott Larner hands off to his twin brother Abram. 25, 23. Skitters his way on the right side down to the 20-yard line, gain of 8.
They can stop the Bulldogs. Number 81, Sam Corey.
Sam Corey on the tackle.
On the play. DeWitt football, second down, 2.
Panther formation again. Direct handoff. Snap to Moore. He's going to have a first down. Gets inside the 15, close to the 10. They'll give him the 11-yard line, so a gain of 9. And now we got a whistle.
Is there a late flag?
Late flag.
Okay.
With the stop, there is a flag on the play. However,
3:09 to go, first half. Ball's on the 11-yard line. Mason's saying it's on DeWitt.
It's after the play.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, DeWitt.
So you get the first down after 9 yards. The play is counted, and then you go back 15.
That's 5 penalties for DeWitt for 55 yards. That moves it back from the 6 to the 21. And you're right, it will be first down. Now, whether it's first and goal from the 21, we'll wait and see. Because we have seen first and goals from the 20-yard line and beyond.
Yes.
From time to time.
No one on the chain gang has moved yet. They're trying to figure out where to go. Okay, yes, I think can they get a first down? I think they can still get a first down. Because it was at the 11, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The last play was, yes.
So it's not a goal situation.
Wait a second here.
Hold on.
Now it will be first and 10. Okay.
First and 10 from the 26.
Yep. Now we got everything situated.
The referee's coming over to discuss something. I don't know what he pointed to the Mason. He said it was still a first down.
Okay.
Because they picked up the first down on the run, and because the penalty happened after the play.
Correct.
So we got to the 11, made the first down, get the penalty, go back 15. So it's first and 10 at the 26. Coach Gary Houghton's trying to get that explanation himself.
He's not liking what he's hearing.
Be that as it may.
First and 10 from the 26. 3:09 to go, first half. DeWitt up 28-14 and trying to cash in a turnover. Clock running. Larner back to throw. Feeling some late pressure, throws it out to the left. Is it caught? Yes, it is. Abram Larner, touchdown. My goodness.
Just like that, they cash in. Second touchdown catch for Abram.
Oh, and there's a flag down.
It's in the end zone. Is this more?
Another dead ball?
After? Let's wait and see. The touchdown's going to count. It is.
Touchdown is good. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on Mason.
Okay.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Bulldogs after the touchdown.
And it's 34-14 DeWitt, and looks like they'll penalize that on the kickoff.
Number 28, Vincent Rose.
Vincent Rose will try the extra point.
Well, despite the penalty for DeWitt, they scored right after it. And the short field helped him out.
Not what Mason was looking for.
They were trying to go the double dip, man. They wanted the touchdown, keep the ball out of the hands of DeWitt, and then get the ball to start the third quarter. Things flipped.
And they'll take the penalty on the kickoff.
Yes.
2:59 to go. Coming up at halftime. Halftime stats and analysis. Plus This Week in High School Sports. Here's a snap. The kick is on the way. And it's good.
Yes, the extra point is indeed good.
So, with 2:59 to go in the first half, it's DeWitt 35. Mason 14. 30-second break, and we're back on the game. 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network.
Lansing Sports Leader, WVFN.
Brock Palmbos, Erik, Doc Love back at Mason High School. Mason called for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the touchdown. Elliott Larner to Abram Larner. The Larner twins do it again. 26-yard touchdown, extra point good, and it's 35-14. DeWitt with 2:59 left in the first half. Man. First time seeing this offense for DeWitt. We know they've had some really good offenses, and this kick is just going to get squibbed into the end zone. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 for Mason. And given the events of what just happened, Doc, this is almost a mandatory score here.
They were being a little bit deliberate, taking their time on that last drive was Mason. Can't do it this time. Still have their 3 timeouts. But 2:59, not nearly as much as 5:50, obviously. Can't give the ball back to DeWitt before the half.
Not
That's
right now.
for sure.
No.
Can't go 3 and out. There's the things you cannot do.
Here's Carswell. Dropping to throw. Fake. Throws it out to the left. It's taken there. Wyatt Ball, number 10. Not much of a gain there to the 21-yard line.
Devin Dussault with the stop for DeWitt. 2 yards on that pass play. Delayed pass play. He was trying to get it to him quicker. And the Panthers jumped down it defensively. And he had a pump fake and then was able to finally get it off.
Here's Carswell again. In the gun. Down to 2:15 to go in the half. Carswell dropping to throw. Now he's going to run out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Taken down there. Number 65, Tyler Dussault and company. And now what do we got here? We got a whistle and a stoppage.
Is DeWitt going to use their last timeout? Yep.
DeWitt's going to use their last timeout.
DeWitt timeout, their third.
That's their last timeout. Mason's got all 3 here with 1:55 to go in the first half.
Panthers trying to give themselves a little extra time if Mason has to punt the ball away.
Getting ready. We're going to do the football teams first, and then the cheerleaders.
I can give you a couple of scores here during this timeout. If I can get Twitter to work. Internet coverage, not the greatest here, as we're seeing right now and having issues with it on the press box. Doesn't want to load.
Well, we're not the only ones with smart devices, Doc.
How about this?
There's a lot of other people.
Brock.
Go.
Okemos 28, Clio nothing. The streak might end.
Looking good for the Okemos Wolves, trying to break a 41-game losing streak. Carswell in the gun. 3rd and 3. Dropping to throw. Throws it out to the left. Incomplete. Mason looking for a flag. They're not going to get it. It's going to be 4th down with 1:51 to go.
Frankie Trigo, the intended receiver, and Mason going to have to punt the ball away.
They have no choice.
No.
They have to punt the ball away. You don't want to give them the ball inside 30-yard line. You saw what happened
last drive. One thing, DeWitt has no timeouts.
That may not matter.
No, it don't, but it doesn't, but it might not.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you're going to pick the silver lining on the great cloud that's happening
Yep.
right now for Mason.
Yep. Carswell standing on his own 15-yard line. This a better punt than last time.
Much better.
And it's taken with a fair catch at the 39-yard line. That's number 2, Trav Moore.
Number 2, Travis Moore. DeWitt football. First.
You're right at the 40. So 60 yards to pay dirt. Mason's got to get a hold here or a turnover.
Yes, they do.
So if this thing gets to 42-14 at halftime.
Yikes.
Yes.
DeWitt's at their own 40-yard line. 1st and 10. Under center is Larner. Elliott Larner dropping to throw. Now he's going to run. He's got a wide open field. 45, 50. Still going. 45. Out of bounds close to the 40-yard line with 1:34 left.
Quick 20 yards on that. Looking deep. Nobody was open. Wyatt Ball had to eventually force him out of bounds. So from the 40 to the 40 in 10 seconds.
May not matter with no timeouts left.
Like I said, silver lining.
Shotgun formation. Larner takes it again inside the 40 to the 38. Not much there. 72, Dominic Rubio on the tackle.
Making a stop for the Bulldogs. Number 9.
Also Joey Schild, number 9. Schild, excuse me. 2 yards only on that one.
Football, 2nd down, 8.
2nd down, 8. Clock running, 1:10 to go. First half. Dropping to throw Larner out to the left. It's taken there by number 10, Jacob Scorfar. And had he not stumbled inside the 30-yard line, he's probably still running.
Yeah. Goss with the stop, but it is a first down, a gain of 10. Clock winds, now under a minute. DeWitt actually taking some time here.
They are.
Which is a surprise because they've been going no huddle exclusively in this ball game.
Got the ball at the 29-yard line. Dropping to throw is Elliott Larner. Throws it out to the left. It's caught at the 25-yard line. And now DeWitt's going to have to go quick here. 35 seconds to go. They're probably going to have to clock the ball here, Doc.
DeWitt football, 2nd down, 6.
Yep, they clock it.
And it'll create 3rd down. 20 seconds to go. 21 seconds to go.
Intended for nobody. DeWitt football.
No, 3rd down.
6.
They gained 4 on that slant pattern before, then they spiked it. Will Vincent Rose get a chance, the left-footed sophomore kicker, or will they be able to get it?
Low snap.
Flag.
Flag. That's going to be a legal procedure.
Early movement by the Panthers. And drop them back a little bit more. Going to make it 3rd and 11.
Ball start against the Panthers.
6 penalties on DeWitt tonight.
It hasn't really hurt them.
No, they're ahead
The outcome.
35-14. Man,
the outcome
no.
has not really hurt them. Coaches still hate it, and it's something they will harp on. but nevertheless.
Dropping to throw is Larner. Now he's going to throw it deep. Left side. Is it caught? Yes, it is. Is that Abram Larner?
It's his brother.
My goodness.
Just
touchdown, DeWitt.
Just up and over the defender. What was that, from the 29?
Well, they say the 30.
Okay, all right. Third touchdown between the brothers. 43, 26, and 30.
Man.
And this game is out of hand, officially.
With 12 seconds left in the first half, it's 41-14. Here's the kick. Line drive. Good.
Yes. The extra point is good. We've got 11.8 seconds left in the half. Your score, Mason 14, DeWitt 42.
You can hear it right there.
Yeah.
11.8 seconds to go in the first half. And it's DeWitt 42, Mason 14.
Might be looking at an all-time offense here for the Panthers. I mean, they're in line to break their own school record again for points.
My goodness.
It's not like the Mason defense is bad.
No.
They're good.
So Vincent Rose will kick off here. Here's the kick. It's a line drive. Taken inside the 5. Out to the 10 to the 20. Knocked down at the 22-yard line. That was number 14. Trendon Bayshore knocking down the return man. Man.
That was a heck of a hit.
First down.
.3 seconds left in the first half. And now we got a whistle up, and it's a knee. Mason takes a knee, and that's going to do it here for the first half. First half dominated by the offense of DeWitt. They outscore Mason 21-0 in the second quarter, and it's now 42-14 in favor of DeWitt. We'll get to halftime stats and analysis here in just a bit. Apologize again for the technical issues we've had tonight. Like I said, we're not the only ones with smartphones and advanced devices and all of that.
Nope, not at all. It helps if I turn my microphone on to talk to.
Well,
the things that Mason wanted to happen didn't happen. And the things that they didn't want to happen did happen.
And they had an opportunity there in the second quarter to potentially get it to within 28-21. And then maybe able to stop DeWitt, or at least run the clock down where DeWitt couldn't score. But that didn't happen. The forced fumble.
Yep.
Forced fumble on Case and Carswell. DeWitt took over. And they just put 14 more points on the board.
The things you didn't want to happen happened for them. That's what the least thing. The last thing you want to happen was the fumble in the short field, and then to have to go 3 and out, and then go 3 and out, and then give it right back to them.
Let's take a look at the scoring summary here. Brought to you by Dowding Industries and brought to you by the Lansing Sports Commission. Elliot Larner threw his first touchdown pass of the game, first drive of the game, to his twin brother Abram. 43-yard touchdown. Extra point was good, And at the 9:20 mark of the first quarter, it was 7-0 DeWitt. After a Mason punt, Travers Moore, 57-yard touchdown run, extra point good, 6:52 to go in the first quarter. It was 14-0 DeWitt. Mason, however, came back. They scored quickly in the first quarter. Troy Peters, a 25-yard touchdown run. The extra point was good, and it was 14-7 at that point at the 5:46 mark of the first quarter. But Travers Moore, on the next drive, DeWitt just went right down the field and scored again. Travers Moore, a 3-yard touchdown run. Extra point good. And it was 21-7 DeWitt at that point. 2:03 to go in the first quarter. Give Mason credit, however. They were able to score right at the end of the first quarter. Wyatt Ball on a trick play, a 40-yard touchdown. That was a touchdown pass, wasn't it? I can't even remember who caught that.
Which one was it?
Wyatt Ball, the 40-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, it was ball. It was a trick play. It was a ball to Goss for 40 yards right before the end of the first quarter.
Tyler Goss, right?
To Goss, yep.
Right before the end of the first quarter, and it was 21-14 after the made extra point. And it was 21-14 at that point. And there was no scoring until the 5:50 mark of the second quarter. That's when Elliot Larner took it in from 4 yards out. And it was 28-14. Then I think the play of the game here, Mason had the ball, Doc, and then Kason Carswell lost the ball on a fumble. DeWitt was able to take over. Elliot Larner threw a 26-yard touchdown pass to his twin brother, Abram Larner, and it was good. The extra point was good, and it was 35-14 DeWitt, 2:59 to go in the second quarter. After another stop, DeWitt got the ball back with no timeouts left, and all they did was take it right down the field and scored again. Elliot Larner, a 30-yard touchdown pass to Abram Larner. Extra point good, 42-14 DeWitt, and that's where we are here at halftime.
It's a lot of offense.
Man. Absolutely stunning offensive display here for DeWitt. I mean, we had heard about this offense, Doc.
Well, week one put up 69.
Yep. I mean, they're on their way to possibly putting up 70, and that's not an exaggeration.
Well, it's not like Mason defense is bad.
No.
It's just the DeWitt offense is just that good.
Penalties. Mason had only one penalty for 15 yards. DeWitt, 6 penalties for 60 yards. And yet, that hasn't mattered a whole heck of a lot.
No.
Now, let's see if I can get my computer to work here, and let's try to do This Week in High School Sports with John Ross.
The celebration of school sports continues, and the football playoffs hit the golden anniversary. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Last week, we let you know that this is the MHSAA's 100th year, and how you can follow along as we celebrate school sports. One of those ways is social media posts highlighting MHSAA records, such as on September 2nd, 2010, Luke Wilcox of Portland St. Patrick returned an interception against Bath 100 yards for a touchdown. That's tied for the longest in MHSAA history. But this is also the 50th anniversary of the MHSAA football playoffs. The very first MHSAA football champions were crowned in 1975. It was Livonia Franklin in Class A, Dearborn Divine Child in Class B, Ishpeming in Class C, and Crystal Falls Forest Park in Class D. The Class A and D finals were played at Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, with Class B and C finals at Perry Short Stadium in Mount Pleasant. And only 4 teams in each class qualified for that postseason. In 1976, the finals moved to the Pontiac Silverdome, and they were played there until 2004. In 1977, the number of qualifiers doubled to 8, and then grew to 16 for each class in 1985. In 1990, the number of classes doubled from 4 to 8. And the final expansion for 11-player football came in 1999, when the number of qualifiers per class grew to 32. We'll have more on the 50th anniversary of the football playoffs later in the show. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. Utica Eisenhower senior Bryce Hurley, he scored 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown, and returned a kickoff for a touchdown in a 33-16 win over Oxford. Woodhaven's Preston Scheffler, the freshman making his first start at quarterback, tossed 3 touchdown passes and a 20-0 win over Wyandotte Roosevelt. And Rockford's Cade Friesen and Logan Haglin, they each returned an interception for a score in a 30-23 win over Cass Tech.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the court. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
In soccer, a kicked ball that inadvertently touches a player's arm is not a handball. If a ball is kicked at someone's face and they instinctively put their hand in front of their face to block the ball, that is also not a handball. There was no intent. Handball or handling is called when the touch with a hand or arm is deliberate. However, if a ball glances off an offensive player's arm and goes into the goal is not allowed. Even if the touching was accidental or inadvertent, it's no goal. If the touching leads to an immediate goal-scoring opportunity, then it's also whistled for handling. As long as the inadvertent touching doesn't lead directly to a goal, it's play on.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. Back with more on the 50th anniversary of the MHSAA football playoffs. 8-player football was added in 2011 and split into 2 divisions in 2017. Farmington Hills Harrison has played in the most title games, 18, and they are tied with Jackson Lumen Christi for the most championships won, 13. Beale City and Crystal Falls Forest Park have each qualified for the postseason more than any other school, with 38 appearances each. Rockford has played in 28 straight playoffs, a record they are looking to extend to 29 this season. And the finals, as they have been since 2005, are at Ford Field in Detroit. Southfield A&T, Muskegon, Forest Hill Central, Harper Woods, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, Kingsley, Jackson, Lumen Christi, and Ubley are your reigning 11-player football state champions. Martin and Adrian Lenawee Christian are the returning champs in 8-player. The 50th MHSAA football postseason kicks off with district play on Friday, November 1st. Check out MHSAA.com for complete coverage all year long. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Ross. We'll be back next week.
WVFA.
Brett Palmbos, Erik, Doc Love back here at Mason High School. The DeWitt offense has been the story. They have had the ball 7 times in this first half and have scored a touchdown on 6 of them. They've only punted once. That's really the story in the game. Their offense and Mason's inability to stop it, except for one drive. They lead 42-14 after 24 minutes of play. We gave you the scoring summary before This Week in High School Sports. Doc, you've got unofficial stats right in front of you here.
For Mason, Kason Carswell, 7 for 14 for 40 yards. Has ran the ball 7 times for 36, but does have that fumble. Troy Peters,
which was costly.
Which was costly because DeWitt scored on it. Troy Peters, 25-yard touchdown run. Luke Goss has 3 catches for 60 and a touchdown. They have ran for 108 yards, and their total yardage are 188 in this one. But DeWitt, unofficially, 433 total yards.
That's in one half, folks.
One half, 288 rushing yards alone. Elliot Larner, 7 for 10 for 145, 3 touchdowns, has run the ball 13 times for 127 and a touchdown. Abram Larner, 4 catches for 122 and 3 touchdowns, all from his brother, obviously. 6 carries for 69 for Abram. And then Trav Moore, 9 carries for 92 yards, including a touchdown. So that's their offense. It's those 3 guys, and they've gotten it done every single time, except for the one.
Yep, exactly. Elliot Larner. Let me look here. 1, 2, 3. 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing?
Yes,
Is that
4
what
total. Yep.
4 total touchdowns.
272 yards of offense just for Elliott himself.
He's showing why he's the high school athlete of the week for WVFN and Town Square Media. Also,
Yes.
a 3.2 grade point average. Three sport athlete, plays basketball. We may see him in wintertime again. 3-year starter, plays baseball in the spring for DeWitt's baseball program, which is always really good. And he's headed to Michigan Tech on a football scholarship where he hopes to, surprise, surprise, be an engineer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
If you're going to Michigan Tech, what else are you going to do?
Well, that's their main.
Yeah.
That's their main thing, and and they're one of the best in the country. In all seriousness, one of the best engineering schools in the country.
Absolutely.
So that's what we got here. You got some other scores around the area?
I do. 12 Alabama 6. So staying close.
Okay.
In that one. 10:55 left in the game for this one. Williamston 12-8. Who are they playing?
Hang on.
I can't remember who it was.
Hastings, the
That's
Saxons
right.
of Hastings.
Hastings. So Williamston up 12-8 with 10:55 left. Yes, that game is almost over, and we're still at halftime for this one. Let's see if I can keep scrolling here and find some more scores. Jackson Lumen Christie up 17-7 on Notre Dame Prep.
That's Pontiac Notre Dame.
Yep. Keep rolling here. Past all the advertisements and whatnot.
Well, I got to tell you, while you look for more scores, and just blurred out here, but we've heard about this offense. 69. We wondered, this is pretty good because Mason's defense is good.
Yes. DeWitt's just that much better at this point.
At least they're showing it.
Yep. Final, Lansing Sexton 13, Lansing Catholic 9. 13
That
to
is
9.
a great win for Sexton to rebound after a shutout loss to crosstown rival Everett. That is a big, big win for Sexton.
Apparently they got
to rally.
They got a sack in the final seconds to end the ball game.
And that started early. That started at 6 o'clock, so that game's now over. And
halftime, Potterville 18, Dansville 7. And some seam action.
And we had the Okemos-Clio score.
This was 24 minutes ago, but it was at halftime. Okemos 28, Clio nothing.
Again, Okemos has the longest active losing streak in the state of Michigan at 41 in a row.
Yep.
And both television stations are there tonight to get the post-game action, assuming they win, which is a real possibility now. And that'd be so great for that community to get that off their back. Congratulations to Eastern, by the way, last week of ending their 18-game losing streak. They beat Wayne Memorial last week. What was 26-20, I believe the score was.
3:47. This is earlier. I'm looking at this. Charlotte 28, Lakewood nothing. That was in the first half. At halftime, it was Fenton 14, Hazlitt 7.
Oh boy.
Halftime, Fowlerville 7, Marshall 6.
Okay.
In the second quarter, these are from earlier in the day. I'm just getting this from the LSJ website.
Yep.
Hudsonville 7, East Lansing nothing. Second quarter, Jackson 14, Waverly 6.
Okay.
And let's see, Langsburg 12, Perry 0. That was in the third quarter. And Leslie 35, Homer 6.
Leslie trying to get to 2-0 on the season. They beat Stockbridge last week.
Ovid Elsie 31, Mount Morris 6. That was in the second quarter.
Yes.
And then at halftime, Springport 21, Maple Valley 6. So these are some of those from early in the day or earlier in this evening. They just haven't updated yet, but that was some scores from around the mid-Michigan area.
And we'll do the best we can with updates later on in the second half and after this ball game is over.
Oh, just one more score real quick. Portland just scored. It's 20-6 with 7:30 left in the ball game between them and Olivet.
We may see Portland later on in the season. I think they're going to be really, really good in Division 5 once again. With the coach's son, Dominic Navarre, as our quarterback, they run just variations of that wing T offense. Mm-hmm. Strong offensive line, strong defensively all the way around. Let's take a timeout, and we'll come back. We'll get your keys to the second half as DeWitt leads Mason 42-14 with 24 minutes down, 24 to go. Here on the game, 730 AM WVFN, brought to you by Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission.
The game, 730 AM.
Brock Palmbos, Erik Doc Love back here at Mason High School. DeWitt leading Mason 42-14 with 24 minutes to go. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part tonight and all season long, if I can bring it up here, by the Lansing Sports Commission. Well, yeah, let's start with the Lansing Sports Commission. No matter the sport, Megan Zemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find details at lansingsports.org. If you're wondering what your future holds and you're not going to college or you found out college isn't for you, you know college isn't for everybody. Check out the future that skilled trades can offer you. You'll be surprised. Check them out at doubtingindustries.com, and we thank Jeff and Chris Metz for their support tonight, not only last season, but this season as well. Without their support, we don't have a broadcast this season.
I'm surprised.
DeWitt and Mason both coming out for their stretching here. They are given 3 extra minutes to stretch. DeWitt leading 42-14. Mason's going to get the ball to start quarter number 3. And obviously, they got to score quickly here.
They got to score on this drive out of half. Otherwise, it's over. I don't want to say that now, but it is. At 42-14, if you do not score on that very first drive and DeWitt scores again,
then it's running clock.
Yeah, it's over with.
Which leads us into keys to the second half. Did you just give it for Mason?
Pretty much. I mean, that's it. They've got to score on this opening drive to start the second half, and then they got to get a stop defensively.
They got one stop in the first half.
They did, and they got to get another one after they score. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
And not a field goal.
No,
it's touchdowns.
It's got to be touchdowns. Yes, you cannot settle for field goals at this point. And for DeWitt, what is there to critique? No penalties. I mean, that's the one thing you got to nit. If you're going to nitpick on something of the team that is up 42-14 right now, it's the penalties.
6 penalties for 60 yards.
Yeah,
unofficially.
That's not good.
Although that's pretty official.
Yeah. That's not good, to say the least. That's the one thing that Coach Rob Zimmerman is going to talk about. I'm sure that's what he talked about at halftime, was that, and then they gave up 2 touchdowns on trick plays defensively. I mean, they were trick plays, and that's probably the only things you're going to pick on. Otherwise, they've been nearly perfect.
Did have to use timeouts in the first half, but that didn't even matter because DeWitt scored 2 touchdowns when they had no timeouts in the first half.
And that's what we discussed that. I'm like, well, they don't have any timeouts, but it doesn't matter. You kept saying it doesn't matter. It might not matter, and it didn't. And that's how it is with this offense right now.
But we have found throughout the years in the first half you can use your timeouts much more liberally.
Correct.
in the first half. In the second half,
you tighten up.
Preferably you have all 3 timeouts in the last 5 minutes. You can get away with 2 unless it's a tie game. If it's a tie game, then that doesn't really matter a whole heck of a lot.
But if you're down and it's tight, you need those timeouts.
You need those timeouts at worst to stop the clock. Now both teams are done stretching, and we'll get started here in quarter number 3. Yes, it's 8:48 in the evening, and we're just starting the third quarter.
Yes. We're going to be here past 10 o'clock.
Unless
something happens.
Unless we get a running clock situation.
Yeah, unless we get to that kind of situation.
I didn't expect this. I figured it would be high scoring, but I did not think it would be 42-14.
Yeah.
I mean, credit to DeWitt's defense. DeWitt's defense. They've played well enough.
After the first quarter, it was 21-14, and I thought, oh man, we're going to get a lot of more points. We're getting a lot of points here in this first quarter.
Yep.
But then it was 21-0. 3 touchdowns for DeWitt in that second quarter. So 21, they outscored Mason 21-0. And on that one, I was like, maybe we won't get as high a scoring game.
So
Mason does have, they did fumble. So one was their own fault.
That was the biggest play of the game right there, the fumble, the forced fumble when Kason Carswell was trying to get out of the pocket there late in the second quarter. Number 28, Vincent Rose is going to kick off for DeWitt.
15-0 are back. So Troy Peters and Hayden Hendrickson for Mason. We've had a lot of kickoffs in the end zone. Let's see what happens this time.
This is a high kick.
Into the end zone.
Into the end zone. 1st and 10 from the 20.
Not a surprise.
Impressed with Vincent Rose. He's hit all 6 of his extra points, and he was 9 for 10 last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. I said 9 for 10.
10, yeah.
They scored 69 points, 10 touchdowns. 9 for 10 from extra points, which are not a gimme in high school football. They are gimmies from the 10-yard line in the NFL, which is why they changed the rules about 10 years ago.
Yep. Has it been that long?
Almost 10, yeah.
Has it? I thought it's only been like 5 or 6, but time eludes me sometimes. So
12 minutes are on the clock. Mason going from right to left. Case and Carswell in the gun. 4 wide receivers. Jet sweep handoff. That's Hendrickson, it looks like, out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. First, that'll be second down and short. It is Hendrickson.
Yep.
And he was pushed out of bounds there.
Number 11, Jaden Bender.
You heard it. Number 11, Jaden Bender, pushed him out of bounds. Gain of 7.
Respectable first start. You look at the scoreboard if you're Mason, you think, man, 42-14, we got to score and quickly. No. You need to be you need to take your time and pick the right plays and do things correctly and not hurry yourself and think, man, I got to do this real quick and get it done. Just be patient, work your way down the field, get a touchdown.
But not too patient. You're down 28 points.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying let's take, the play clock every time.
Right.
I'm just saying don't be in a hurry.
Be quick, but don't hurry.
Correct. John Wooden.
Handoff up the middle. First down.
It's Chapin.
That is Chapin. Gets out to the 31, maybe the 32-yard line.
We saw him in the first quarter and then not really anything in the second quarter.
Gain of 4.
Mason football, first down.
First and 10 from the 31. Ball on the near hash mark here. Mason, by the way, in their home royal blue uniforms with white numerals and red trim. Blue helmets with the Clemson-style paw print. Handoff, right side. Chapin again, over the 35 to the 36-yard line. Just think Clemson, except it's red and blue instead of orange. DeWitt in their road white uniforms, blue numerals, gold trim, and as everybody knows, the DeWitt Panther emblem on their helmets.
They used to have
navy blue helmets with the Panther logo on both sides.
Back in the day, they used to have the wing look of the Michigan helmets.
Yes, they did, which is what Powama, Westphalia does now. No, they don't. They used to. They changed it a few years ago. I forgot about that. Yes,
they have the
like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep.
Reverse handoff to number 3. That's Dominic Rodriguez, and he's tackled.
You're going to lose some yards.
At the line of scrimmage, it's probably going to be a loss.
Try to counterplay. And the Panthers were there right away.
Yes, they were.
He lost 4 yards.
Third down and 8. All right, what play is going to get you a first down here?
A pass play, preferably.
And it's almost 2 downs to make 8 yards. Unless there's a major loss, then
Correct.
You got to punt the ball. But
Sam Corey does not have a target yet tonight. I wonder if they're going to try. Or he has one target, but he has not made a catch.
Carswell under center, dropping to throw. Throws it out to the left. It's almost intercepted.
Looking for Corey.
And who was that out there?
Was it Abram?
Was that?
No, it's Trav Moore.
Trav Moore, who's played a whale of a game tonight.
And they're going to punt the ball away. If Corey had come up with that, it would have been close to the first down.
And then
I bet
he'd have had to go for
they
it.
probably would have went for it.
Yep. 9:44 to go, third quarter.
Not how you wanted it. First down, and then that was it.
That was it. Carswell back in the punt formation, standing on his own 20-yard line. Snap a little bit high, brings it down, gets it away. This is a good punt. Inside the 40, inside the 35, down right there. First and 10 from the 35-yard line. The nose of the ball is going to touch the 35, so DeWitt's going to take over right there. With 9:34 to go in the third quarter, DeWitt leading Mason 42-14.
Trying to go to Twitter here, see a couple scores. End of the third, Fowlerville 34, Marshall 14.
Be a good win for the Gladiators there.
2:56 left. Portland 26, Olivet 6.
Looks like Portland's going to get to 2-0 on the season.
104 left. Hastings 16, Williamston 12. So Hastings has scored since we had last talked about it.
Williamston would drop to 0-2 there. Here's a reverse handoff for DeWitt, and is that Trav Moore?
It is.
It is Trav Moore, and it's going to be a touchdown, 65 yards. He was on the right side of Elliott Larner, and just a reverse handoff. Larner coming to the right, Trav Moore coming to the left, hands off. The contrast in direction. Great blocking.
And speed.
And speed for Trav Moore. His third touchdown of the game. It's 48-14. Moore's third touchdown of the game. 65 yards.
Well over 100 yards now because he has touchdowns of 57 and 65.
Snap is low. But the holder gets it down inside the right upright, and it's good. And so now, with 9:24 to go in the third quarter, it's DeWitt 49 and Mason 14. We'll take 30 and come back on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports.
The game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN.
Palmbos and Erik, Doc Love back here at Mason High School. We're going to have a running clock situation to the surprise of some as DeWitt, Travers Moore, 65-yard touchdown. The extra point was good, which makes it a 35-point game, 49-14. Rose kicks off inside the 5-yard line, taken there. Out over the 15, out over the 20, and taken down at the 22-yard line. That was Troy Peters. And he was taken down there. Now the running clock is going to start as soon as the ball is ready for play. And now it's running with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Any game when it gets to 35 points or above, it is a running clock situation.
And when does it stop?
On timeouts, penalties, injury stoppages, end of quarter, end of game.
Mm-hmm.
Case and Carswell in the shotgun. Jet sweep handoff. And there's just nothing there. Great pursuit by the DeWitt defense. Number 11, Jaden Benders, played a real good game defensively. Takes down
Peters.
Number 15, Peters. And it'll be second down and long inside the 20.
He lost 5 yards on that end around.
That's just great pursuit by the DeWitt defense.
It is.
As we get to the top of the 9 o'clock hour, I want to let you know you're listening to your trusted source for high school sports coverage. The game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN East Lansing, a Town Square media station. Coming up next week, well, one of the games we're looking at, maybe we'll see East Lansing next week as they host Grand Ledge. One of the games we're looking at. You and I will talk over the weekend and figure out what game we're going to do probably on Monday. Case and Carswell dropping to throw. Throws it out to the left. It's in and out of the hands of the receiver. That's number 4, Frankie Trigo, who had a touchdown catch last week. On the coverage was number 11, Jaden Bender.
Bender's been good in coverage tonight.
He has. Yep, sure has.
Matrigo, he could have had that one. It was right in his hands.
Wouldn't have been the easiest catch in the world, but he'd probably tell both of us, should have had that one.
I should have caught it, yep.
3rd and 15 from their own 17.
Accountability. The lineup mismatch here. Casey Carswell trying to get his guys on the right.
And we got a whistle. And they'll stop.
We got too many guys on the field.
Delay a game.
Okay.
Second penalty of the game on Mason.
It's a 3rd and 20. Excuse me, bro.
2 penalties for 20 yards, 6 penalties for 60 yards for DeWitt. 6:48 to go in the third quarter. 49-14 DeWitt.
Clock is a-rolling.
Week 5, September 27th, DeWitt at East Lansing. I got a gut feeling we're going to be there.
That would potentially be a big one. East Lansing was losing earlier, but that was much earlier.
Right. Clock running, 6:25 to go, third quarter. Carswell rolling out to the right. He's going to take it himself, and he just gets out of bounds. He gets a little bit of the yardage back, but not a whole heck of a lot. It's going to be fourth down. Abram Larner pushes him out.
2 on the play, Mason football, fourth down.
And Mason will punt. Well, one thing we know, we wondered if the DeWitt offense was for real. I mean, scoring 69 points against Hazlitt. You wondered if it was bad Hazlitt defense or great DeWitt offense. Well, we've got our answer in this game.
Yep.
Mason's got a good defense, and they've got 49 points on them in 2.5 quarters. Less than 2.5 quarters. Here is the punt by Carswell. Not the greatest punt. Gets it out to the 42-yard line, about 27 yards on that punt. Clock running. Oh, they don't stop the clock on a change of possession. Okay. Timeouts, administrative timeouts, team timeouts, injuries, penalties.
Yep. End of game, end of quarter.
Of course.
Obviously.
Right. We're down to 5 minutes to go. Well, we thought we were going to be here for 3 hours.
Maybe not.
A little less unlikely now. Or a little less likely now, I should say. 1st and 10 on the Mason 42. Elliott Larner still in the game. They're going to hand off up the middle.
Number 23.
In the game for the first time. That's Tyler Bayshore.
His first carry.
Gets down to the 40-yard line. And DeWitt's going hurry up here.
Gain of 1 on the play. Panther football, second down, 9.
Second down and long. Larner throws out to the left. It's caught. Close to a first down. Is that number 11, Bender?
That's 10, Scorfar.
Jacob Scorfar. Close to a first down. They're going to give it to him. Down to the 30-yard line. Hayden Hendrickson knocked him down. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Shotgun formation. Handoff to the running back.
It's Bayshore again.
Bayshore again. Gets inside the 30-yard line to the 29-yard line. Good chance to get some backups in the game.
Yep. Off that behind the left guard.
3:40 to go, third quarter. Dropping to throw, Larner. Throws out to the left. It's caught on just one of those short little 5-yard hitch passes.
Same thing, Scorfar.
Scorfar again, taken down far side. Couldn't tell who the defender was out there.
Get my binoculars out real quick.
Was that Hendrickson again?
It is, yep.
3:17 and counting. Obviously, DeWitt working on their hurry-up offense here. 2 wide receivers right. Larner's going to take it himself. He's got the first down and more. Inside the 20. Down inside the 15-yard line.
Down to the 11.
They mark him down at the 11, and it's going to be 1st and 10.
You say working on their hurry-up offense. That is their offense, basically. I mean, we've only seen them huddle a couple of times. It's not how this offense is built. They just want to go, go, go.
Looks like DeWitt's trying to make a statement to everybody in the area, if not the state. Certainly doing that. Larner throwing out to the left. Caught. Touchdown.
Scorfar. Little up and stop and go route.
11-yard touchdown. Excuse me.
Ran about
Jacob Scorfar.
Ran about 5 yards. Stop. Spun away from the defender. Went into the end zone. And hauled it in. I think there is a flag after the play, by the way. Referees are discussing something right now.
Vincent Rose on to kick the extra point. It's 55-14. Well, they haven't put the points up on the board yet. Let's see. Dead ball. unsportsmanlike, Mason. Second unsportsmanlike conduct call on them.
Of an unsportsmanlike nature against the Bulldogs.
Third penalty for 35 yards. And you hear it through our microphones. Assessed on the kickoff. Fourth touchdown pass for Elliot Larner. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Oh.
No, X point no good.
So it's 55-14 in favor of DeWitt with 2:30 to go in the third quarter. It was a low line drive, Doc. I think I couldn't quite tell. I thought I saw one official say good, but no, it is no good. $55-14 DeWitt. Man.
The fourth passing touchdown for Larner.
He's got a rushing touchdown as well. Travers Moore has 3 rushing touchdowns, 57, 3, and 65. Very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
to say the least, yes.
Very impressive. This DeWitt offense. I mean, historically, it's been really, really good.
Mm-hmm. They were okay last year at times, but they were very young.
Yeah, and ever since Tyler Holtz left in 2021, when they went to back-to-back state title games, won one in the COVID year of 2020, and then won it lost to Detroit Martin Luther King in 2021. It's been kind of a struggle for them. We've seen a lot of the Panther formations. Well, now they're still doing it here, but now they got an experienced quarterback, and he's really good. Here is a squib kick through the end zone as they kicked off from the Mason 45-yard line.
Mason football first and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
End of third, Potterville 24, Dansville 7.
Potterville trying to get their first win of the season. The main thing is they're going to play a full 11-man, 9-game schedule.
Yes.
Number one. Same thing with Vermontville Maple Valley. Maple Valley played 8-man football for a number of years, but because of their too much enrollment, could not qualify for the 8-player playoff, so they said, okay, we're going back to 11-player football. Try to get an Okemos score as well. They were winning 28-0. Okay, we'll get it after this play here. Kason Carswell throwing high and deep, and it's just out of the reach of Luke Ghost, the wide receiver, number 2. Would have been a great catch.
A wheel route from Goss down the sideline, his own sideline there, and it was a great throw by Carswell, but Goss just couldn't quite catch up to the pass. 9:42 left in that Okemos game. They're up 35-0. So things looking even better for him.
You know what? I'm going to say it right now. Congratulations to F.A. Scottamockpore and the Okemos staff and the Okemos kids.
Portland defeats Olivet 26-6.
Telling you, Portland's really good. Here's Carswell throwing it out to the left. It's caught out close to the 30-yard line.
Number 10.
That's number 10. That's Wyatt Ball, who's got a touchdown pass in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And we're under a minute to go here in the quarter. Ball at the 30-yard line, and they give him a first down. Okay.
Just got to that line to gain.
40 seconds left in the third quarter. Down to 30 seconds left. This will be almost certainly the last play of the quarter. Carswell dropping to throw it. Now he's going to take it himself over the 30, 35, over the 40, first down. At the 41, he's taken down by number 24. That's Miller Wings. Got a few tackles tonight. Needed 10, got 10. We're down to 10 seconds to go in the quarter. See if Mason can get another playoff here. I don't know if they're going to. Down to 2, down to 1. That's the end of the third quarter.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
It's all DeWitt all the time. DeWitt, 55. Mason, 14. Come on back for the fourth on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing.
WVFN.
Brock Palmbos, Erik Doc Love back at Mason High School. All DeWitt, all the time. 55-14, they lead. Elliot Larner has 4 touchdown passes. Travers Moore, 3 touchdown runs, and well over 100 yards tonight.
Final score, Hastings 16, Williamston 12.
Oh, Williamston now 0-2 on the season.
Hastings with a late score in that fourth quarter to get that win over the Hornets.
What was that Sexton score over Lansing Catholic? That's a huge
13-9?
win. Yes.
An unconventional score. But a late sack sealed it for the Sexton team.
The J-Dubs.
The J-Dubs.
It's a great win for them. Both teams now 1-1 on the season. 12 minutes to go. Here at Mason. Mason trailing 55-14. First and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Carswell still in the game. Rolling out to the right. He's going to run. 40. 45, 46-yard line. He's taken down there. 52, Tegan Carl. One of the guys taking him down, as well as 66, Landon Truax. Gain of 6.
Not a designed run, but nobody was open. It was good coverage in the Panthers secondary, so Carswell decided, I got a little bit of green here. I'll take off for 6 yards.
I formation behind Carswell. Fake handoff, play action pass. Throws out to the right. Caught. Sam Corey. And that's going to be a first down.
His first catch, his third target, but finally was able to haul one in.
At the DeWitt 45-yard line. Gain of 9. First and 10 from the 45 of DeWitt. Handoff. That's Caleb Vaughn. Gets a gain of 2, maybe, and then he's taken down on the left side. Number 5, Max Holtz. I'm guessing he's the younger brother of Tyler Holtz, although I don't know that. They got to be related.
Possibly, yeah.
It is a gain of 2.
Vaughn comes out. Chapin replaces him in that running back spot.
10:29 to go in regulation. I formation behind Carswell. 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right.
Audible.
Changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Fake handoff. Play action pass. Rolling out to the right is Carswell, trying to get away from everybody. And he's guided out of bounds by number 23, Tyler Bayshore. You know, good job by Tyler Bayshore, because he could have speared him heading out of bounds. But he just guided him out of bounds.
Escorted. I like to say escorted.
Yeah.
Kind of escorted him out of bounds.
Didn't want to, because he didn't want to take a chance on getting called for a late hit or unnecessary roughness.
We don't need anything unnecessary like that at this point of the ballgame, especially.
Or potentially hurting himself,
Correct,
too.
yes. It does go both ways sometimes. You're right. You could hurt yourself when you try and make a stop like that.
3rd and 7 now from the 43 of DeWitt. Handoff, Caleb Vaughn. Inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line, close to a first down. He might be a little short.
It's Chapin, by the way.
Oh, that was Chapin.
13-23.
13-23, okay.
Yep. Vaughn is a 23, Chapin is a 13. It's tough to tell at an angle sometimes.
Holtz in on the tackle. It's going to be 4th down and 1, and you might as well go for it here, and they're going to. 9 minutes to go. I formation behind Carswell. Handoff, Logan Dorr. He's close, but I think he's going to get it.
Yep.
Getting a rare carry.
First carry of the game. He had a couple last week, I remember that, but the first one in this one. They haven't been in a short yardage situation that they needed to hand the ball off to him until that point.
Needed 1, got 2. They're at the 34-yard line. 8:35 and counting.
Tom Rodriguez in now at back, and then the fullback is now Gavin Van Kirk as Dorr comes out.
Handoff. That Dom Rodriguez.
It is.
He gets inside the 30-yard line, down close to the 29-yard line. Good gain there, gain of 5. 8:15 and counting. We've been in a running clock situation for most of this second half.
About what, like
after the touchdown, 9:24.
9:24 left. Yep.
Mason football, second down, 5.
Well, now Mason will turn their attention to defending their CAAC Red Championship.
This is not a true conference game.
Nope.
CAAC game, but not in the red.
No. Number 26, that is Gavin Van Kirk on the carry. Gets inside the 25, gets to the 25, rather. And it's going to be third down and short.
Fullback dive as the back. They're rolling in some of the backups now.
Yep.
For Mason.
And also might be a good idea to get Case and Carswell out of the game here.
He's still in there at the moment. He probably won't come out of the ball game unless you make him.
I formation behind him. Offset I. Here's a pitch out to the right. This is going to be a first down. 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown. Dom Rodriguez. 25 yards on the touchdown. And it's 55-20.
The toss to the outside.
And there was nobody out there. There was no wide receiver, no corner out there, no linebacker. Simple, pitch out to the right, and a pretty easy touchdown. You know what? Coach Rob Zimmerman's not going to be too happy about that.
They won't. They've been rotating in backups as well, have the Panthers.
Still won't be happy about that.
Nope, not at all. Good block by the backup fullback as well, Gavin Van Kirk.
It's called sealing the corner.
Yep.
Colin Winters on for the extra point. Snap is good. The placement down. The kick on the way. Good.
Yes.
So, with 7:11 to go in the fourth quarter,
With 7 minutes, 11 seconds left.
it's DeWitt 55. Mason 21. 30-second break, and we're back on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports.
Lansing Sports Leader. The game, 7:30 a.m.
Brock Palmbos, Erik Doc Love back with you here from Mason High School. All DeWitt, most of the time. Not all of the time, but most of the time. Dominic Rodriguez, a 25-yard touchdown run for Mason, pulls them within 55-21. Colin Winters is going to kick off here from his own 40.
Final Springport 34, Maple Valley 6.
Maple Valley Lions dropped to 1-1 on the season. Here's the kick. High and deep into the end zone. You know, Mason had 10 guys up within 15 yards of the kick looking for an onside kick. I think you're going to see a heck of a lot more backups here now for DeWitt.
And we'll see who the backup quarterback is. On the roster we're looking at, Brendan Mensing. So they just announced it.
Congratulations to Coach F.A. Scott Amakpour and the Okemos Wolves. The 41-game losing streak is now over. They shut out Clio tonight 35-0. And congratulations to that football program. That's step one for them.
Yep.
Win a game this year.
Be competitive the rest of them, right?
Yes, try to. I mean, even less than that. Try not to face a running clock in the league.
Yep.
I mean, that's where we're looking at right now. Elliot Larner's still into the game, and he hands a reverse handoff off, and it's almost a first down.
Trendon Bayshore with that, and it is a first down.
And they're going to give him a first down. 7 minutes to go.
Joey Child with the stop for the Bulldogs.
Child with the stop.
Panther football, first down.
And now it's not a running clock anymore.
It's still 35.
55 minus 21 is 34.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's 34. You're right. Because they missed the extra point.
Yes.
Another Bayshore carry.
On a jet sweep handoff over the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Bayshore with the carry. Number 77, Rory Witt. Number 9, Joey Child.
Joey Child in on the tackle.
7 yards for Trendon Bayshore, senior.
6 minutes to go. 6:05 and counting. Clock running.
DeWitt taking a little bit more time than normal.
Yes, they are.
Now it's Trav Moore taking the snap.
Up the middle, and he's still going. He's into Mason territory at the 48-yard line. I'll be interested to see his final stats tonight.
Yeah. Tyler Bayshore with the carry that time.
And again, Joey Child with the stop for the Bulldogs.
15 yards from a different Bayshore. Tyler, the sophomore. DeWitt taking a little bit more time between
yes, they
plays.
Are.
Not a lot, but a little bit more. Looks like Trav Moore is your backup QB, by the way, because Elliott is out of the game, Elliott Lerner. And Trav Moore is taking the snaps.
And handoff up the middle.
That's the sophomore Bayshore again. Yep.
Which number is he?
Tyler, number 23.
Number 23. There
the
we
ball
go.
came out late. Mason's saying that they have
it's
it.
Theirs.
Referees are discussing.
And they're stopping the clock here with 5:06 to go in regulation. The officials are going to confer here.
At the moment, it's a 5-yard gain for Tyler Bayshore. Mason came up with the ball at the end of the play.
They're going to talk about it.
Nope.
They're going to give it to DeWitt.
Yeah, they talked about. Well, no, they're going to give him the first down. Okay, I see where it's at. Okay, so he picked up 8 yards on the play, but the ball had gone backwards on the potential fumble, which turned out to not be the case.
55-21 DeWitt. And you're right, Trav Moore in at quarterback, second and long. Spread formation, going to hand off to the running back again. He's got the first down. That's 23. That's Tyler Bayshore. Inside the 35, down to the 32-yard line. Clock stops with 4:44 to go, and now it'll restart here.
Van Kirk with the stop for the Bulldogs. Panther football, first down.
At the 31-yard line. We'll let the PA announcer kind of help us with the play-by-play. You can hear him through our microphones, folks. Moore in the gun. Bayshore next to him. Low snap from center. And on the jet sweep.
That's 14.
That's number 14. That's Trendon Bayshore. Not much there. Gets to the 30-yard line and not much further. Clock running, 4:22 to go.
And Caleb Vaughn with the stop.
Caleb Vaughn on the stop. And it'll be second down and long. Gain of 1, it looks like. Down to 4 minutes to go. .352 and counting. DeWitt taking their time. Triangle formation, 3 wide receivers to the left. Going to hand off up the middle.
It's 23 again.
That's Bayshore again, Tyler Bayshore, a sophomore.
Tyler Bayshore.
DeWitt's still young in some spots.
We've got Caleb Vaughn.
But they're legit. Hey, this offense is legit.
Oh, yeah. Brendan George leading the charge on that one.
Takes the ball down to the 28-yard line, does Bayshore. 27, actually. They'll give him 4. 3:15 to go. And DeWitt may run this down and take a timeout. And they are. DeWitt will take one of their 3 timeouts in the second half. 3:07 to go in regulation. We'll take our last timeout of regulation and come back on the game, 7:30 AM WVFN. Brought to you by Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission. Right here on the Lansing Sports.
Lansing's only sports station. The game, 7:30 AM.
Let's play.
Brock Palmbos, Erik, Doc Love back here at Mason High School. 3:07 to go in regulation, coming out of the DeWitt timeout. Jet sweep handoff. That's number 14, Trendon Bayshore. He gets out to the right. He's inside the 10-yard line, inside the 5. we got a stoppage here because we got a flag down.
This one might be coming back. Thrown in the area of holding,
That's
which it is.
Exactly what it is. You know what? Coach Zimmerman is going to be happy with a lot of stuff here. I mean, they've shown their offense is for real. But 7 penalties for 70 yards, couple of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Yeah.
He won't like that. This is almost a perfect game for a coach. A lot of things to be happy about, a lot of teams to praise your guys about. But enough things to not like that you need to clean up because tougher games are coming up for them. Next week, they're at Waverly, and then they play that Hurricane West Virginia High School in week 4, and then at East Lansing week 5. 2:42 and counting. Trav Moore in the gun. Handoff. Is that Bayshore again? Yes, it is. That's Tyler Bayshore. Oh, and he's tripped up inside the 30-yard line. Tripped up by
the 26th, Van Kirk. Yeah, Gavin Van Kirk.
A.J. Martell's old number. What a player he was for Mason. You know, had he not gotten hurt in the state title game, might have had a better chance against Grand Rapids Catholic Central.
Yeah, definitely.
4th down now for DeWitt. 2:06 to go in regulation.
I don't want to touch on it too much, but the skill players this season aren't there as much as Mason has in the last couple of years. The receivers and the running backs, they're not quite
they're young.
What they've had.
Yep. Still going to be a very competitive team in the CAAC, right? And probably a playoff team. This is probably a playoff team,
yes.
I think. Bayshore again on 4th down. He's going to get tackled behind the line of scrimmage. So Mason will stop him here with a minute 35, minute 34.
Bayshore. Tyler Bayshore.
And the clock is running.
They're letting it go. I don't think they realize they need to stop the clock.
It doesn't really matter at this point, but administratively, they should stop the clock
they
right
should.
now.
Yep. Change of possession. It's not a 35-point game. Our computer isn't working again. What else is new? It always happens at the end of the ball game, too.
Let's see if Carswell's still in the game.
He is. He's staying in the ball game.
Wow. I'm surprised by this.
This is now the fullback.
1:07 to go. They finally did stop the clock. Here's a handoff.
Is that Van Kirk?
I think it is Van Kirk. He is into DeWitt territory. It's going to be a 1st down for Mason. It is Van Kirk.
31 yards. He was the fullback.
Yep.
And now he's the running back with Joey Schild in front of him.
Down to 40 seconds to go. Carswell, I formation. Van Kirk again inside the 40 to the 39-yard line.
Van Kirk on the carry.
That might be the last play of the game.
We're down to 20 seconds. Mason's going to try to run one more play here.
Are they? Because Carswell's on the sideline.
Down to 12.
Yep.
And he tapped him on the head, and that's going to be it. That will be it. Outstanding offensive performance by DeWitt tonight.
And that's the game.
Your final score. The DeWitt Panthers 55. The Mason Bulldogs 21. Just an outstanding performance offensively for DeWitt. Pretty close to perfect.
Yes, pretty close to perfect. You're right. Penalties probably the biggest issue, but they didn't even matter really for them.
No.
They overcome any penalty that may have occurred for them and still were able to score.
Yep.
And they only got stopped 2 times in this ball game.
Yes, one on a punt
and then
in the first half, and then this last possession right here.
Turnover on downs.
Both teams congratulating each other right now. 55-21. DeWitt over Mason. DeWitt now 2-0 on the season. Mason drops to 1-1. DeWitt now heads to Waverly to Marizita Stadium to take on the Waverly Warriors, whereas Mason will head to 0-2 Williamston. So good chance for Mason to regroup and enter league play. If you're Mason, you just forget about this game and move on. If you're DeWitt, you've made a statement loud and clear to the Lansing area and statewide that, hey, our offense is back and we're for real.
Yes, absolutely.
Post-game stats and analysis coming up. Our players of the game as well. It's all coming up after This Week in High School Sports with John Ross.
The celebration of school sports continues, and the football playoffs hit the golden anniversary. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Last week, we let you know that this is the MHSAA's 100th year, and how you can follow along as we celebrate school sports. One of those ways is social media posts highlighting MHSAA records, such as on September 2nd, 2010, Luke Wilcox of Portland St. Patrick returned an interception against Bath 100 yards for a touchdown. That's tied for the longest in MHSAA history. But this is also the 50th anniversary of the MHSAA football playoffs. The very first MHSAA football champions were crowned in 1975. It was Livonia Franklin in Class A, Dearborn Divine Child in Class B, Ishpeming in Class C, and Crystal Falls Forest Park in Class D. The Class A and D finals were played at Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, with Class B and C finals at Perry Short Stadium in Mount Pleasant. And only 4 teams in each class qualified for that postseason. In 1976, the finals moved to the Pontiac Silverdome, and they were played there until 2004. In 1977, the number of qualifiers doubled to 8, and then grew to 16 for each class in 1985. In 1990, the number of classes doubled from 4 to 8. And the final expansion for 11-player football came in 1999, when the number of qualifiers per class grew to 32. We'll have more on the 50th anniversary of the football playoffs later in the show. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. Utica Eisenhower senior Bryce Hurley, he scored 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown, and returned a kickoff for a touchdown in a 33-16 win over Oxford. Woodhaven's Preston Scheffler, the freshman making his first start at quarterback, tossed 3 touchdown passes and a 20-0 win over Wyandotte Roosevelt. And Rockford's Cade Friesen and Logan Haglund, they each returned an interception for a score in a 30-23 win over Cass Tech.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the court. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
In soccer, a kicked ball that inadvertently touches a player's arm is not a handball. If a ball is kicked at someone's face and they instinctively put their hand in front of their face to block the ball, that is also not a handball. There was no intent. Handball or handling is called when the touch with a hand or arm is deliberate. However, if a ball glances off an offensive player's arm and goes into the goal is not allowed. Even if the touching was accidental or inadvertent, it's no goal. If the touching leads to an immediate goal-scoring opportunity, then it's also whistled for handling. As long as the inadvertent touching doesn't lead directly to a goal, it's play on.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. Back with more on the 50th anniversary of the MHSAA football playoffs. 8-player football was added in 2011 and split into 2 divisions in 2017. Farmington Hills Harrison has played in the most title games, 18, and they are tied with Jackson Lumen Christi for the most championships won, 13. Beale City and Crystal Falls Forest Park have each qualified for the postseason more than any other school, with 38 appearances each. Rockford has played in 28 straight playoffs, a record they are looking to extend to 29 this season. And the finals, as they have been since 2005, are at Ford Field in Detroit. Southfield A&T, Muskegon, Forest Hill Central, Harper Woods, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, Kingsley, Jackson, Lumen Christi, and Ubley are your reigning 11-player football state champions. Martin and Adrian Lenawee Christian are the returning champs in 8-player. The 50th MHSAA football postseason kicks off with district play on Friday, November 1st. Check out MHSAA.com for complete coverage all year long. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross. We'll be back next week.
Lansing Sports Station. The Game, 7:30 a.m.
Brock Palmbos, Erik, Doc Love back here at Mason High School. DeWitt dominates tonight, and they beat the Mason Bulldogs 55-21 to move on to 2-0 on the season. Tonight's broadcast brought to you tonight and as always by Jeff and Chris Metz and Doubting Industries. Doubting Industries recognizes the effort and commitment that these athletes have given to the sport. Good luck to everyone tonight. The memories will be with you for the rest of your life. And yes, how many times do we hear former high school athletes say, yes, the games that I remember the most are the ones I played in high school?
Yes.
You hear that all the time from former athletes. It doesn't matter if they never played above high school, or if they were a star in college, or they're in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Some of the biggest games that some of them have ever played are ones that they're playing on Friday nights.
That will admit to it.
And we also want to mention the Lansing Sports Commission. Megan Zemer and her great staff. The Lansing Sports Commission, no matter the sport, the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find details at lansingsports.org. Let's quickly go over the scoring summary.
That might take a while.
I'll try to go as fast as I can. At the 9:20 mark of the first quarter, Elliot Larner threw to his twin brother, Abram Larner. 43-yard touchdown pass. Extra point good by number 28, Vincent Rose. 7-0 DeWitt. Less than 3 minutes into the game. After a stop, Travers Moore. 57-yard touchdown run. Extra point, Rose, good. 6:52 to go in the first quarter. 14-0 DeWitt. Mason scored quickly. They scored just over a minute later. Troy Peters, a 25-yard touchdown run. Extra point, Colin Winters, good. 5:46 to go in the first. 14-7 DeWitt. What did DeWitt do? Went right down the field and scored again. Travers Moore, 3-yard touchdown run, finishing off a drive. Extra point, good. 21-7 at the end of with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Mason came back on a, what would you say it, halfback option or a wide receiver option?
Yeah.
Wyatt Ball threw to Tyler Gose, a 40-yard touchdown pass. Extra point, good. And it was 21-14 DeWitt. With 28 seconds to go in the first quarter. That was a score at the end of the first quarter of play. 21-14. Anybody's ball game. And nobody scored until the second half of the second quarter. Elliot Larner, a 4-yard touchdown run, finished off a drive. Extra point good, 28-14. And then, after a fumble, which was really the biggest play of the game, a forced fumble, with less than 3 minutes to go, Elliot Larner threw to his twin brother Abram, a 26-yard touchdown. Extra point good, 35-14 DeWitt with 2:59 to go in the second quarter. DeWitt wasn't satisfied with that. They got to stop. And then Elliot Larner threw a 30-yard touchdown pass with 12 seconds left in the first half to Abram Larner. Again, extra point good, 42-14 DeWitt. And that was a score at the half. In the second half, it got to be a running clock situation because Travers Moore took it around left end and ran 65 yards for a touchdown after they stopped Mason on the first drive of the second half. 9:24 to go in the third, 49-14 DeWitt. Elliot Larner then threw his fourth touchdown pass, this time to Jacob Scorfar, an 11-yard touchdown. The extra point was no good, and with 2:30 to go in the third quarter, it was 55-14 DeWitt. Dominic Rodriguez for Mason salvaged some pride there for the Bulldogs. A 25-yard touchdown run. Extra point, Colin Winters good. 55-21. That was about 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and that was the final score here. 55-21 DeWitt. DeWitt now 2-0 on the season. Mason at 1-1. There was one turnover in the game, and it was the biggest play of the game. It was 28-14. Mason's trying to drive out of their own territory, trying to score to make it 28-21.
They were looking for the double dip. They're trying to score right before the half and then get it and start the third quarter, yes.
But it didn't happen. They fumbled. DeWitt went right in and scored after that. Elliot Larner to Abram Larner, 26-yard touchdown. That was the biggest play of the game. That was the only turnover of the game. Penalty-wise, DeWitt's got to clean that up. 7 penalties for 70 yards. A couple of them were unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Coach Rob Zimmerman won't be happy with that, but that's less than they had last week. They had 12 penalties last week. Mason had 3 penalties for 35 yards, a couple of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Coach Gary Houghton is not going to like that. So that's what we got there. That's the scoring summary. And it's brought to you by Dowding Industries, Jeff and Chris Metz Dowding Industries, and the Lansing Sports Commission. You got stats there, Doc.
Unofficially, Mason in the loss, 326 total, 217 rushing. Casey Carswell, 9 for 19 for 69 yards, 11 carries for 57. Does have that fumble. Luke Goss with the 3 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. DeWitt, unofficially, 651 total yards, 481 on the ground. Elliot Larner, 10 for 13, 170, 4 touchdowns. Also ran 8 times for 140 and a touchdown. Abram Larner, 4 catches for 122 and 3 touchdowns, 6 carries for 69. Trav Moore, 10 carries, 157 and 3 touchdowns.
Pretty awesome.
Yep. That offense going to be tough to stop.
Yep. So they're 2-0 on the season. They're at Waverly next week. This Mason squad, they open CAAC Red Play at a tough opponent, Williamston. 0-2, though, on the season. We'll get to scores coming up on the other side, including some very happy news from Okemos. The long streak is over. We'll get to that coming up on the other side and wrap everything up here from Mason High School. DeWitt beats Mason tonight, 55-21. Back after this on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network. Brought to you by Dowding Industries and the Lansing Sports Commission.
WVFN.
Brock Palmbos, Erik, Doc Love, back with you one final time from Mason High School. DeWitt beats Mason tonight, 55-21. DeWitt now 2-0 on the season. They head to Waverly next week to open conference play in the CAAC Blue. Mason will open conference play in the CAAC Red when they head to Larkin Norman Memorial Field to take on Williamston. We got some scores from around the Mid-Michigan area that we need to give you, including some very happy news from Okemos, the long national nightmare, as Tim used to say, and of course President Gerald Ford said back in the day, back in the 70s. The long national nightmare is over for Okemos. The streak is over.
41 losses in a row are now gone. 5 years since the last time that the Wolves had won a football game. 35-0 they beat Clio.
Congratulations to F.A. Scottamockpore, the players, and all the supporters out there. Congratulations. There's
still a game going on, 1:16 left, but it looks like Potterville's going to beat Dansville 36-21. Scroll down here real
Great win
quick.
for Potterville.
Yes, yep. I got to go past.
Said Grand Ledge won tonight.
Grand Ledge won. I'm trying to find that. Leslie is up 55-6 with 4 minutes left.
They'll go to 2-0.
They're going to go to 2-0. Grand Ledge, they knocked off Lakeview 47-20
on the road.
Yep.
That's a game we're looking at next week. Grand Ledge at East Lansing in the CAAC Blue opener.
I did not get any. I haven't found any East Lansing scores yet. I'm gonna have to go try and find them real quick. Sexton 13, Lansing Catholic 9. We talked about that one.
Yep.
Portland 26, Olivet 6 in that ball game.
Telling you, Portland. Telling you.
CMAC PW 42, Bath 6.
Well, I mean,
they ring the bell, as they like to say.
Absolutely. PW sets the standard in the CMAC.
Yep. Fowlerville 47, Marshall 14.
That's a good rebound. That's a good rebound for them.
Gladiators go to 1-1 now. Keep scrolling down again real quick, see if I can get any more. Jackson 41, Waverly 12.
Waverly down to 0-2 on the season.
Mm-hmm. And that might be it. I'm going to try and do a real quick score. Who was East Lansing playing again? It was...
Hudsonville on the road.
I'll type in Hudsonville because typing in East Lansing would probably pull up a lot of different scores.
Sure.
So, or a lot of different things, at least. Hudsonville 14, East Lansing 12. So the Trojans fall.
Trojans get beat.
14-12 on the road.
Wow. Oh, they did have to go on the road in Hudsonville, again, one of the West Michigan powers.
14-12 in that one. Any other scores you want me to look up real quick before we get out of here?
Let's see. Holt at Swartz Creek. Holt looking to rebound. St. John's at Hamilton. Potterville looks like they're going to beat Dansville tonight. Congratulations to Everett. They beat UD Jesuit last night 23-7 at Archie Ross Stadium. We may have to see Everett later on in the season.
Yep.
That's a team that's on the rise. Najai Davidson, their quarterback's been terrific so far, first 2 games of the season. Got anything else?
Nothing for the Holt Schwartz Creek. Who was St. John's playing?
At Hamilton.
Hamilton. That probably won't help me out very much, but I'll look real quick.
Maple Valley was losing to Springport. They were trying to get to 2-0 on the season.
Yeah, Hamilton. I can't.
Okay.
It's going to pull up too many different
That's
things.
Okay. That's all right.
That's what I got for you.
There are a couple of games tomorrow. Eastern is at Benzonia, Benzie Central. Eastern lost 18 straight until they won last week. They play tomorrow. And in 8-player football, Portland St. Pat's against Weberville. Both of those teams are 1-0 on the season. Final thoughts tonight, Doc.
That DeWitt offense is going to be a terror for teams the rest of the season. Mason's defense is solid, but the Panthers' offense is just going to be giving people fits all the rest of this year. They look so good. The Larner brothers, those twins, they have good connection out there. And then Trav Moore running the ball adds an extra element to that offense. For Mason, solid game, at least overall for them. They just got some things to work on. The defense was okay. They give up a lot of points, but the offense for Case and Carswell, some of those younger receivers, guys that didn't get a lot of playing time last year, got to step up and make some plays for them.
And they'll try to do that next week when they're at Williamson. Players of the game?
Elliot Larner, quarterback for DeWitt.
I was going to give it to Trav Moore.
Okay.
How many yards did Trav Moore have?
Well, but Elliot had like 300 plus and 5 touchdowns.
Okay.
So. Come on, man.
Okay, I'm with you there. Trav Moore had to be close. What'd you say Trav Moore had?
He had over 140 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. So he had a really good game. He did.
Yeah, but hey, no argument there. No argument there. I was just trying to make the case for him because I thought he was really good tonight.
Yeah.
Mason?
I thought Troy Peters played pretty well for him overall. He had that touchdown pass. Was it Peters that had the pass as well?
No, Wyatt Ball.
Oh, it was Ball. I'm thinking of Ball then. Wyatt Ball is my player of the game for Mason because he made some tackles defensively too.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at Mason High School. Tune in next week. Same time, same station. 6 o'clock will be the pregame. Erik, you and I will talk over the weekend and figure out what game we're going to do. We're looking at Grand Ledge at East Lansing potentially. But we'll talk over the weekend and figure out what we're going to do next weekend. We do know pregame coverage at 6, kickoff at 7 o'clock. And we're looking forward. Thanks to Nathan Vandenberg for helping us out technically tonight. Apologize for the technical difficulties. We're not the only ones that have smartphones and smart and advanced devices. Other people do too. And when they're in close proximity, this happens.
It gives
sometimes.
us issues, yeah.
Yes. That's going to do it for us here. For Nathan Vandenberg, for Erik Docklove, I'm Brock Palmbush. Thank you for listening. Again, the final score: the DeWitt Panthers 55, the Mason Bulldogs 21. We now join ESPN Radio, already in progress on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network. Good night, everybody.